Hi, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to A Girl, a Guy, and a Movie. This is a special episode, our last episode of the summer with Janet, as she is taking off for clearer beaches than what we have here. So, what better way to send her off and go watch the ultimate summer movie, the premier summer movie of all of modern cinema, Jaws from 1975? And welcome to today's show. Six Nation, 31 Kings, how are you doing today, sir?
Uh, Doing pretty decent. I kind of screwed up my deltoid and bicep. Nancy Pelosi porn. Horrible.
It's understandable.
No, I'm doing pretty good, but being old sucks, and tendons and muscles don't snap back the way that they should when you're younger.
Well, prost to you and prost to Janet. Uh, I hate getting older. The only reason why this is around is because it helps the aching in my joints, and I've largely slowed down on a lot of it. After I do these two today, I'll probably not drink until next weekend. I'll be back to this stuff, sparkling water.
Mm-hmm.
Janet, how are
Good
you
stuff,
today?
though.
I'm good. I'm good. I love this movie. I was real excited about getting to watch it. I even got me a lifeguard outfit. Ta-da! See, I'm official. I even got a whistle.
All right, boys, clip that. Thank you.
But yeah, this is an iconic movie, and I wanted to be a lifeguard since everything has to do with the water. I thought it would be good, and there's a few lifeguards in this movie, so I thought it would be all right to do that.
This movie,
It's not Baywatch. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I love this movie, and I picked it. I'm the one that picked us to watch this because I wanted to watch it.
Why are you picking on Baywatch?
Well, I'm just saying it's all because Baywatch is just a bunch of babes running around. This one has the shark eating people, so it's a difference.
I get it. Hey, Crafting Gamer, how you doing today, sir? This is a movie that it's been on my discussion list for years, but when you mentioned that you wanted to watch it, I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's do it. It's not my favorite Spielberg film by any means. I don't know why I don't like it.
It is mine. This is my favorite. I think it's the best one he ever made.
It's in my top 5.
Yes.
Of Spielberg's movies?
Uh-huh.
Okay, see, this is at the top of my list in the top 10 movies I've ever seen, and I think it is the best movie. I even like this more than I did. Was it E.T. that you said that he made?
E.T., Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I like Raiders, but I still don't think it's the best made one.
I've got to rewatch E.T. because I haven't seen it since the theater, and I had the little record with the storybook you can read along. That was like the second time that I reviewed E.T. was my little Fisher-Price record player and storybook album.
Those were really good record players. I had one. They were white, had blue accents.
Yeah. I mean, I'd get a hold of my parents' records, which was either like classic rock, new wave, blues, or adult comedy records like Richard Pryor and so forth. And then it kind of went downhill after that.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, I got busted for teaching kids dirty jokes in school back when,
Do you remember?
It was a little different time.
Truly Tasteless Jokes? Is that the book?
I vaguely remember that. I think so.
Yeah.
God, there was one that they had. It was Red Fox, Richard Pryor. Oh, what was that? Anyway, getting sidetracked.
Yeah, I I got into this movie probably 15 years ago because I had a chance to see all four Jaws within like a 2-day period.
Hmm.
And I did that, and it was worthwhile. It was very worthwhile. It was worth watching. It was enjoyable, and even more importantly, I got a chance to actually go through and digest all these. And I got to say that it starts off on a real high note, and then it just starts sliding down.
It's a
downhill.
trippy series that way. Yeah.
Well, see, I only
Like
saw
normally they get start at the bottom and go to the top. This was at the top, and then it was just downhill from there. Now,
Yeah.
granted, part 2 wasn't too bad, relatively speaking.
Yeah, I
Jaws
never saw
3,
it.
I got to see in 3D, and that was cool. But I was young then, and it's kind of hokey now.
Don't watch it now.
4, the only thing good about 4 was Michael Caine,
I've never seen.
and then
I've never seen the movie for Jaws 4, but I've seen the mansion that it bought me, and that is quite nice.
I didn't see it.
the NES game, like I said, that was based off of 4 was better than 4. I have yet to see the spiritual successor, which is Moon Sharks.
Which one? There's so many bad shark movies out there. And
Oh.
I watched a lot of them. I watched Megalodon 1 and 2. I watched The Black Demon. I've seen so many bad shark movies.
I hear Shark Side of the Moon, which got like a 2-star review, is supposed to be good in a bad way. Because these geneticists make some super sharks, and they're so terrifying that they shoot them to the moon because they can't kill them. And then they're on the moon.
I've got Ouija Shark, the Rift Tracks version.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I never seen any of those movies. I never saw Sharknado.
Uh,
I never
what was it,
saw
Land Shark?
Jaws 3.
Or
I
it was
never
just
saw
bad
Jaws
CGI
4.
in the sand?
So I only saw the first one and the second one. And I thought the second one was good, but I didn't think it was as, iconic as Jaws, the original. The original was perfect. I couldn't tell you right now anything wrong with it, what you saw on screen. Now, when you read all the trivia, you hear a lot of shit that happened on set. People getting injured. I think Spielberg got his head stuck in Bruce's mouth. There was bunches of problems with the robots not working, and the fact that there wasn't CGI. That all of it was animatronics.
It's all practical. Yeah.
So I just think you could tell that he loved this script. He loved this story, and he wanted every detail of it to be as best as he could possibly make it. And he did it. He achieved that goal, I think, because I think it's his best movie he ever made when it comes to all the details that's in it and everything, all the work that he did. And I also was telling you guys earlier that I read trivia that said that he had nightmares for months after making this movie because he kept waking up, in a cold sweat, thinking he was late for, to be on set and stuff like that. So he lived and breathed this movie the whole time he was making it, and you can tell. I mean, it was. I know it won some awards, some types of awards and stuff.
Jeez.
So
I thought the greatest travesty was Robert Shaw getting eaten, Quint, gobbled up by the shark, because he was a cool, crusty old seaman.
yeah,
And,
but if he was going to die, that would be the way he'd want to die.
Yeah, but that came out totally wrong. Anyway,
Bruce is so easily entertained. Oh,
I found out that the greatest travesty was Robert Shaw not earning a dime because he was evading taxes from the IRS.
oh, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because he was working in Canada, the US, and Ireland, and the UK. Like the IRS was sticking him hard, and that
traveling.
was brutal.
He was just traveling.
So if he did get paid though for doing the movie, right?
Yeah,
I wonder how much the actors paid.
Technically, he got paid. He just never saw the money.
He never saw it. It all went to the USG, Janet.
Oh, okay. But do you know how much each actor made to be in this movie? Because I absolutely loved Richard Dreyfuss's character. Just the facial expressions and everything that he put into it for his portrayal of the oceanographer, the shark specialist type person. I just thought he was excellent. And his banter between him and Robert Shaw's character for Quinn, I was phenomenal. I just
when they were comparing scars.
Just everything about him when he's pissed off at each other because he's belittling him, and you could tell that his character was belittling him because he didn't like the fact that he learned all this through college, right? When he learned everything he knows about sharks from being hands-on and being a fisherman, being out on the ocean, and he learned it in books. You see, and you could tell they had animosity toward each other, but it came across in a really good chemical testosterone way. I just thought it was excellent. I mean, they had really
here's
good.
This uppity young college guy with a education in sharks talking to a guy that survived the USS Indianapolis.
Yeah, but you didn't know that at the time. See,
like literal sharks.
After they bonded, after all the drinks and almost dying and the adrenaline up and the adrenaline down and all that while they're out on the boat, they bond over all that stuff. But before that, when they're on the dock, before they get on the boat, and then he's making fun of him when he's getting all his equipment put in, because he goes, what a dumbass, he doesn't know shit, basically is the way he was talking to him. And I see so many, it's like I said, I see so many men now today that still do that type of shit with each other when you guys are just, I see it all the time when we're playing on the weekend between some of the character or some of the men, when the way you guys talk to each other, there's a little like chest bumping or whatever, I don't know, like you're peeing on each other's.
You got to tear somebody down to build them back up. So it's like ingrained in the male psyche.
Okay, I'm around enough guys that are friends, and I'm around guys that can't stand the other people, that type of thing. So I don't know. I just thought they did an excellent job considering they were actors. They were acting these parts. These aren't guys that hang out every day and do everything together and not best friends. But the way they portrayed their characters on the screen, the three of them all stuck on a boat, and the way that they filmed it, they were able to capture the feeling of the confinement of them on this ship, and the fear of knowing if they fall off, they're dead, not drowning, but by getting eaten alive. And I just loved it. I thought it was just phenomenal. And I was glued to this whole thing and almost cried a few times. And I think I've seen this movie at least 30 times. And it's still very emotional. I can sit and watch the whole thing and not be bored. It's just so well done. It's a masterpiece to me. I mean, this is up as high as I am with Tombstone and The Great Raid. Now, it's not my favorite movie. The Great Raid is my favorite still because of my patriotic feelings or whatever. I guess that's probably what it is, because it definitely has way more flaws in it than this one. But I just love this movie. It's got everything, and it's got romance, it's got family values, it's got murder, because you think the mayor's murdering all these people just to make a few bucks. It's got everything. It's got intrigue and drama, excitement, explosions.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he is. But he did a great job portraying the mayor. You know what I mean? The actor that portrayed him did a good job. So, and all the people, mingling around and wanting to become overnight sensations by being, the shark killer, all of that. He did his eye, the way the director saw the people and had them interact with each other. It was phenomenal. It was believable. It was like you were standing on the dock watching a bunch of people going off half cocked, guys carrying dynamite, and it's just
Like
really
two guys in a 6-foot boat going out after a 25-foot great white. Like, seriously,
and
what were these people thinking?
The scenes of on the beach, with the people all sitting, like I said, it looked like hundreds of people. And I don't know if it was. I'd have to somehow research and see how many people were actually on the beach, because it was filmed at Martha's Vineyard. Okay, it's beautiful too. When he's driving his Jeep through and stuff, it's just gorgeous. I mean, it's just beautiful scenery. The ocean was gorgeous. The beaches were beautiful. The costumes were just phenomenal. The gore, the blood, like when that little boy, when you see the shark's fins going back and forth in the water, and then you see the water, the air burst out with the water of his little floaty, and then you see the blood. I almost started crying. I get so emotional thinking about it, because it's just terrible to be a mom up on the beach and seeing everyone running and panicking and pushing each other out of the way, and then her son doesn't come out of the water, and then you see his little raft float up with lots of blood with it. And I've seen that. We just saw that a couple of weeks back from that woman that they dragged out of the water in Texas.
Yep, right over here.
And there was blood everywhere. I mean, it was
People never learn.
Yeah, it was a very gruesome scene. And so he did a phenomenal job at looking for details like that. Like when you see the young deputy and you see the drunk guy that went swimming at the very beginning of the movie to get Brody out to the beach, and you see him way off in the distance behind him when he's talking to the young man about, you haven't seen her, what happened to her, because they just think she's missing. They don't know for sure if she drowned or anything. But all of a sudden you hear him blowing his whistle, and they go running down there, and then you see him like running away from whatever it is that we don't see, and then he's on the ground and he's trying to not pass out. You can tell he's just very emotional, and then they walk up on it and you see him like gasp, and then you just see her arm and her hand, and the crabs and stuff. I mean, they just made it look very realistic. I mean, the
prosthetic arm that they used originally looked too fake, so they actually buried someone in the sand. So that's a real arm.
Oh, really?
In the sand.
It looked real. I mean, it looked good. And those were real crabs. You could see them moving around and everything. And there was sand like stuck to the skin. So it was very believable. And then the scene, it was because of Richard Dreyfuss, though. That's why. When they go back to the place where they did the autopsy, and then he's standing there and he's got his headphones and stuff because he's going to record the whole thing, right? And the mortician, or what do you call the guy that does the autopsies?
Not the
medical examiner.
Yeah, the coroner. He gets that little tray out, just this little tray, and that's all that's left of this beautiful young woman that was swimming, and he puts it down there, and you see him kind of look shocked when he sees the little box that he takes out, and then when he pulls it over, and he could see he's just so talented, the way his expressions on his face and the way he's talking about the body parts and stuff, it's just believable. I mean, he was just a really good actor, and his character was I just thought he was great for that part, for that scene, especially too, because it was very dramatic, even though it was a small room. And that's another thing that they were able to do, is he was able to take a confined environment and make it look, you could see every detail, like around the room, like I said, that they film one direction, then they fill another direction, and then they put it all together, editing. It was flawless. I mean, this was right here is one of the movies that, like I'm always talking about, when you make all these scenes, like in the shack that Quinn lived in, and he's boiling his his shark jaws, because that's the only bone in a shark's body is their jaws. The rest of them is all cartilage. That's why you never find fossils or anything, fossil bones of sharks. Their teeth and their jaws are all that's that's left. Everything else is cartilage and skin and whatever, and fades away. But the way they filmed all the jaws, like looking out the window and you see the jaws, the teeth and stuff, just little details like that is what made this movie so in your face, and it made everybody petrified to go swimming because I've never gotten over it since I first saw this movie, and I still cannot swim. As soon as I get out of now, more and more, I'm even afraid to even go very deep now, up to my waist. I would not. I used to swim. First thing I'd swim out. I mean, I was like 7 and I'm swimming out to the sandbar, just having a great old time. And it's dark and it gets cold because you can feel the temperature as it gets darker beneath you, the temperature change. And now I won't go out there unless I'm in a little boat or something. I won't swim out there anymore. If I can't see down there, I'm not getting in.
Yeah, my friends and I, we used to swim out to the pier and back. And I'm glad that I stopped doing that after a couple of years because, like, many years later, I found out that the sharks like to hang out in like half that distance closer towards the shore. So it was like easily get eaten by a shark out there. It's creepy as hell thinking about it.
But it's not. And I understand sharks, when they bite you, they don't just swallow you whole, because most sharks aren't huge like the one in this movie, right? They're their mouths might be this big, the average one that attacks people, enough to take a chunk out of you. But that's not what's so scary. It's like the way they film this part, when you see them, the mom and the dad and the 3 kids right up the beginning to go out in the water because the mayor's like, go swimming, threatening him. How far away it looked when you're out in the water and you're in the water with the people. It looked like it was miles to the beach. And that's what it must feel like when you get scraped or bitten on the arm or something by a shark. All you're seeing, like in your nightmares, and you're going down a hallway and the hallway just gets longer and longer. That's what it looked like. And that's what I think the fear that you'd have, that the beach is just getting farther away. You're never going to make it. You're never going to live. You're going to die because you're bleeding out. And that's why most people bleed out and die, isn't because of the bite and they were chewed to bits. It's because they bleed to death. Because a shark takes a bite to see whether or not you are food. And if there's not a high fat content, they don't finish the job unless it's a feeding frenzy at the time. Because I watch lots of documentaries, so sorry. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt whoever was about to speak.
Well, I'm just going to share just a little bit of the mapping here.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a real nice area where you can fish. This is Bob Hall.
Oh, that's
Pier.
in Texas?
It's in Texas by Whitecap Beach, South Padre Island, or it's more towards like North Padre, but this is around Mustang Park area. And you can see pretty much that just park your car right there on the sand. And got a couple locations here where you can go and get refreshments. Brought mom and dad here so we could have a good time. Here's the jetty where I prefer to fish because, oddly enough, I've caught some large redfish up and through here just using shrimp. Mm-hmm. And it's a good time. It really is. You've got it. This is a real easy way to just spend a couple of nice relaxing hours. I'd recommend it if you're going to be outside in the afternoon. This is where you want to be. JP Luby Beach has got a lot of good times there. But you've got these areas here. They're just that like shoreline is just begging for you to go and enjoy it, but don't go wild out here and swim. Don't do that, because after the second sandbar, third sandbar, if you take a helicopter ride especially, you're going to see all the sharks.
Yeah, because I can see something. There's one that looks like a shark. isn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like it's not.
Oh, well.
You can see. You
No,
can see
no megalodons, damn it.
And this is
Well, I'm
this
glad.
is a lot of fun to go to, but this is Port A. This is where I used to take mom and dad to. We've been on a couple of condominium weeks here, but you can do a lot down here and enjoy yourself. Port A is over here. This
Got a
is
bit of a lagoon over there.
yeah. This is where we would sail in from the Gulf, and we'd make our way to Ingleside and
Do some day drinking.
yeah, no, this was when I was Navy. This was our pier. This was
Oh.
the pier we used for all 14 ships, the MCM class mine countermeasure ships, and then they started throwing MHCs, mine hunting craft at us, which are smaller ships. And both those style of ships, I believe, are completely decommissioned. But we also had 3 frigates here, and they were only 400 feet long. So you could put pretty much the entire South Texas fleet right here. And this is where it was. They've turned this into something completely different than what it was. I don't remember all of these. I remember a few of the tanks there, like maybe 3 or 4. They've got so many tanks here now. But this is where we used to go because that was squid days for Bruce, and you just head out the pier, and this is quite a trip. But in Port A, you pretty much bring your golf cart down these little roads, and you just enjoy the beach. This is a real nice pier. You have all sorts of acreage to just fling your bait from here, and I recommend that.
Well, I wanted to ask a question. See where that your what would you call that, dock, pier, or whatever?
The one that the ships were
Yeah,
at?
right there with your arrows over. Do people swim around the other end of it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, people
see,
come around this all the
I
time.
get so pissed off every time I go on a vacation or anything, and we go to the beach, and you got little kids, and they're in 3 feet of water, and then you got older people, out a little farther, some on floaties and some not, and then you got some asshole that comes walking out there with his fishing pole, standing right, 5-10 feet away from the swimmers, and he's throwing his line out. And I'm like, what the hell do you think you're doing? You're drawing sharks or possible barracudas or whatever that's out there that you're trying to catch on your line right up to the swimmers. That's why I honestly believe why we're seeing such a huge amount of people being bitten by sharks. Because if people fished over there where the pier is, and then people weren't allowed to swim over there, and they had to swim, in another designated area, and people weren't allowed to fish around it, you wouldn't have all these sharks thinking that this area right here, it's got food in it. You see what I mean? Just like what they were talking about in this movie. And it pisses
The
me
Gulf
off.
also has warm water, which attracts sharks.
Here's
Well, I
Port
know,
A,
but I
and
just
here's
don't think they should
Ingleside,
really do
where I
that.
was stationed in the Navy. Over here is a little town of Portland.
Mhm.
Portland's a cute little town. It's not like the Portland over in Oregon. It's nice. But over here is Indian Point Pier, and I've actually caught a reef shark here before. And you're talking about no bones in sharks. The only bones in sharks are the fucking teeth. I
Well,
didn't know what to do with this thing.
The jaws,
I hauled up
as
on-
you saw the jaws hanging all over the walls.
Yeah.
That's all the bones.
Their dentures are real. The rest of the shark is fake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the rest of the shark
It's
is
rubber.
tasty. It's tasty. That's what it is. And I had a knife. It was pretty good size, about maybe, I don't know, I had an 11-inch blade on it.
Mhm.
And I had that in my tackle. And as I pulled this reef shark up on the dock, I was panicking. I pissed myself. That happens. I'm sorry. I was having fun. I also pissed myself when I went hog hunting once. But over here, got a hold of this reef shark, and one of the other fishermen in the area is like, do what you can to not put yourself at risk to the mouth, and then start cutting it up and start staking it. Steak. And he pulled up on his phone real quick what he did with his shark. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And that's exactly what I did. And you can do that. Like, you can catch those stupid sharks right around here. They're only like 3 to 5 feet long. And I don't go in the water anymore. I just don't. I like my body. I don't want to have it like
Is it because you're afraid you're gonna get bit by a shark?
it's a rational fear, and there's a
It's
lot
a
of
healthy fear.
No, I'm not saying
Yeah.
it isn't. I'm just saying a lot of people won't admit it. They don't want to admit that's why they don't go in the water.
I don't go in the water anymore. I used to go in the water all the time, but after I had a few like experiences where like, oh, I caught a shark. I've actually had my hands on a shark before. I haven't had my hands on the water since. I'm good. I'll go
see,
fish all
You
the
can
time.
either get sharks, like on the coast, and then you can go to the lakes or the bayous and stuff in Louisiana and get eaten by gators. So we do
Can you
have.
pull up Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk?
Pull up Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I used to go there a lot because I lived like within blocks of it, less than 10 minutes away on bike.
So it's one of those parks.
So the pier is on the left-hand side of that map. Like it's basically, there's the amusement park from Lost Boys. There's the pier. That's where I used to swim out
Mhm.
and
Was there any
back.
shark attacks there?
There was sharks, but not any shark attacks. Pleasure Point, which is more towards Capitola, which would be on the right, further down. The waters heated up about 10, 12 years ago, so some small sharks would find their way into the local surfing areas.
Mhm.
Pleasure Point pizza there is pretty good, but I'm a firm believer in pizza in my heart. Superior pizza. Anyhow,
Some famous surfer got killed by a shark in Hawaii not very long ago too.
yeah.
So I think
And then
it's
Natural Bridges is on the far left, further
more-
down West Cliff Drive there. It's basically all along the coast. There's also a nude beach
You know what?
with
Stay away from those.
wrinkly hippies. Yeah,
Stay,
it's gross.
stay away from nude beaches. You don't want to see that.
Why?
You don't want to see that. Janet, what if I had too much confidence? What
You
if
had
people
too
bigger
much
than
what?
me? What if I had too much confidence? What if people bigger than me had too much confidence?
It shouldn't matter.
Do you really want to see that?
Well,
80-year-old saggy
you
boobs,
don't
wrinkly,
remember us reviewing the
pickly
movie,
bits.
The Full Monty?
I remember that movie very well. That was
Okay.
a fun movie.
I know, but do you
Great
remember
movie.
the one guy struggling, thinking he wasn't attractive because he didn't have a perfect physique? He was a little chubby, and his wife didn't care. She loved him. She thought he was sexy. So I'm just saying, just because you might think somebody might not look attractive doesn't mean someone else wouldn't find that attractive.
I love and respect you two too much to ever admit going to a nude beach. 'Cause I don't want you to think of
But
me
they
and
make
my-
a lot of money because there's tons and tons of resorts that do that cater to, that type of lifestyle.
There's
hedonism.
Steamers Lane and Mavericks, where the pro surfers usually go out to, but all along Highway 1, you can find little offshoots down the cliffs to some nice little beaches.
Did you see Parrot Head's comment? Oh, he's funny.
I first saw the notification for you guys on my phone. I thought it said Jews, the sequel. You feel him circling, honey. You feel him swimming around. You got fins to the left and fins to the right. I thought he was going to go with a banking statement there, but never mind. It's a good joke. Hey, Mr.
But-
Rick,
In space.
Get
James-
back to the movie.
go ahead.
So you guys too. I mean, but the thing is, this movie brought out fear like no other before it, I don't think. I think that's one reason why it became such a big blockbuster, is because everybody wants to go on vacation. And most people go
Or
somewhere
Sylvia
near
for
the beach, right?
the last 50 years.
So that's
Yeah.
one reason why I think it was such a big hit.
We're
Or
15
not
years
just
away
that,
from-
and plus it was from a number one book, wasn't it? Wasn't his
Yes, it
book
was.
number one?
That book was number one.
Yeah, and so it instilled a lot of fear. The thing is that the people that read, some of the people that I've talked to that read the book, because usually when you read the book and you see the movie isn't near as good, because it can't do what your brain can do. You know, your brain puts it together just like it. Like I read it, and I thought it was really good, but when I saw the movie, I liked it more, because when he wrote about certain details about the alien and all this, the ship and all that stuff, it was just I was just worn down by it because it was too much information. It was boring. So when I got to see the movie, it wasn't boring. You know, the way
Are you sure you're not talking about Tommy Knockers?
maybe I am. Am I getting mixed up?
Because Tommy Knockers was about the UFO that crashed.
Okay,
Yeah.
then that's the
And,
one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
But that type of
Transmogrified into space
I don't
alien.
like that. I don't like when they put too much information in there that you get bored. They did the same thing. I think it was in the second Twilight book. It was so boring when they went into the details about every little detail about the werewolves, you know, that type of thing. This this movie, and I didn't think the book was that bad either. I thought the book was really, really well done. So it deserved to be a hit. But the fact that Spielberg wanted to see the book come to life and be able to dream about it, you know, every single day to get it done and to get it out there. And the details I went through to make Bruce, you know, and then he named Bruce because of his lawyer's name was Bruce. So I thought that was kind of funny. But the thing is that you can tell that the love that he had to see this come to life. And there's very few movies like that. I mean, they're just this, especially now. I think it's gonna be more and more rare. We might not see a blockbuster, but like Deadpool and Wolverine, like maybe one a year, maybe if we're lucky.
Okay, but by the same token, Janet,
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool and Wolverine just cleaned up. They had 3 weeks of dominance at the box office.
Mm-hmm.
They got ousted by whatever new Alien Romulus. They got ousted by that this week, but they're the first rated R film to go to $1 billion ever so fast.
Uh-huh.
And
it's still going to make money. It's not done.
Yeah, it's not even a month old yet.
Yeah, and it wait till it's streaming and all, you know, all the stuff, T-shirts and everything. I mean, this is rejuvenated Wolverine. I guarantee they're going to start a whole new series of movies for Wolverine, and it's just going to make even more money if they're smart and they follow the footsteps of the talented people behind Deadpool. And try to give the people what we want, which is your entertainment, and stop trying to give us an agenda.
What I appreciated about the Deadpool series is that Ryan Reynolds went out after being told no. He went and filmed something anyway on his own money, and then forced it out into the American,
because he fell in love with the character,
and he forced them to make Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
Because he filmed his first trailer without any help or anything, and I think they even used that in the movie. But you have nothing to fear from like an absence of blockbusters, because there's a hungry marketplace of people wanting to devour blockbusters. We've been given Jaws. It's been 50 years of dedicated summers. We had a few years of stupidity where we thought we should mask up and hide in our house like Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And that didn't really work, didn't really help us out. In fact, drove suicides up more. And you know, we have young ladies that want to go out and be woo girls. And we have to abide, we have to give them the chance to go woo. If we don't have blockbusters, then what's happening is that there's not a movie worth watching. There really isn't. There's nothing worth going to see in the theaters, because sequel proved to me that there's a market for this. There's still a desirable hunger of
For entertainment.
that want good entertainment.
It's kind of funny because the summer blockbuster wasn't a thing before Jaws. Summer movies were like, oh, these are the crap movies. Everybody's going to be outside enjoying the weather. And all of a sudden, everybody's watching this killer shark movie. Like, holy shit.
Remember, like what you said, they were trying to get this movie done to put it out for Christmas because that was fall. And that's winter. That's when they usually have hits movies, but it didn't work out that way for them. And I can't remember the exact trivia. I sent you
the thing is that they had weather that conflicted with them. It is Martha's Vineyard.
Yes.
2, the mechanical shark.
Salt water.
Bruce, but Bruce, you fucked up a lot.
Yeah, it was 3 different ones.
Yeah, they had 3 different mechanical rigs that couldn't fucking do the work right, and it delayed everything by 6 months.
And then they also had real sharks, like the one that was the filming of the one cage that's getting bombarded by the shark. That's from real footage of a shark that's really attacking one of those cages, and they put that into the movie. So there's lots of real sharks in there. But the one scene to me, the one thing I really, really loved, I thought was just so unique, was the fact that they filmed from up in the crow's nest, looking down on the ship, on the boat, and you could see how little it was, and you could see them running around the sides and on the back and stuff like that. And then you see the giant shark underwater go alongside the boat. I mean, just the thought and the detail that he went into to make sure that we got to see that and got to see those different angles. And the thing that I went on and on about, I know I talk a lot during the movies, I'm sorry, but when they shot it with the barrels and then you saw the barrel going along, that they had you couldn't see any waves, okay, that from being pulled along by a tugboat or whatever it was phenomenal. The thought that he went into it saying, we don't want to see anything. We want it to look like it's underwater. So they worked on that because it was before CGI. So all this was hands-on, everything they made themselves to make it look that way. And I wish that's why I loved it when you got me to watch the Darkness, Gamers or whatever, Darkness Rising, when I got to see that, because I loved it. And that's another reason why I love independent movies and, those types of movies, indie movies, is because there's a lot of practical costumes and makeup, the special effects, everything they have to do. They have to use their imagination and come up with ways to make it work because they don't have all the money that Hollywood's got. They can just CGI everything. I mean, we're in bad shape. If we end up doing all CGI movies, they're going to suck because they are not realistic. I like the small little flaws, like when the shark was getting moving around. Sometimes this wasn't perfect, but I don't care. It was great. I just thought it was really, really, really well done. I just absolutely loved this movie. I just loved it. And I jumped a couple times, like when he went down to the boat and the head popped out. I forgot right at the moment what moment it was going to be. I knew that it was going to happen, but I couldn't remember exactly when. And it got me, and I went, "Oh my God!" It scared me when he dropped the tooth at that scene. So there was a lot of good parts like that that I remember jumping in. The part where the guy in the little boat out in the pond area, when his son is swimming and you're worried he's going to get, killed. And then the little boy, the youngest one, when he's crying, sitting there on the beach, and just little things. When he did the whole thing sitting there with his dad, he was just a phenomenal actor.
All right, guys. We'll be working
the
next
first
year
reveal
on cards for this stream, A Girl, a Guy, and a Movie, because Janet has made it a thing now to where when she talks about the children in movies, you can hear her ovaries explode and cry.
I can't help it. Who couldn't? I just think every woman that watches any of these has to have the same feeling because they're just so cute.
We'll be doing bingo cards next year.
The opening reveal where Jaws pops out of the water and gobbles up the kid, and then everybody's panicking, and that one douchebag
pushing the
freaks out and knocks over those kids, and
takes her
every time I see it, I'm thinking that motherfucker needs to get 8.
Well, the first thing I got pissed off was the mayor. I got pissed off the mayor as soon as he said the beaches will stay open. Didn't even care that they just got a woman
Hauled up this corpse out of the
all
ocean,
eaten
mostly
off
eaten.
the beach. Oh,
Brett, Jaws 3 and 3D
they're
is
always
phenomenal.
politicians are always trying to ruin our day. All they think about is themselves.
Terrible movie, but awesome in 3D.
What are you talking about, Janet? We're trying to have an economy here. Don't you know that without the beaches being open, this town will wither on the vine? Plenty of people will go instead to Nantucket or Worcester Cape Cod. How
And
did
this-
you think your grandmother owns an ice cream salon? Would you like to see her close it down in the heat of the summer?
That scene between the mayor and Richard Dreyfuss, his character, when he's trying to explain to him that he goes, all these sharks do is eat, swim, and make baby sharks. That's all they do. They're an eating machine. And as long as the buffet is open, he's not going to leave. So, and the mayor was like just ignoring him. I don't know how they still do it. I still see politicians standing up there. They see the crime, they see all this shit, and they still just go, "Oh well, I still look good, so I don't care about the people." That type of thing. And that's exactly what you see. And this was what, 1975?
Yep.
So politicians haven't changed. They basically got worse.
They never will.
But yeah,
The thing that I liked was the boat. So the Orca, the hero ship that they used, was an overbuilt lobster trawler that was top heavy and could hardly stay afloat. The boat that they used to sink was more seaworthy than the one that they were trying to keep afloat throughout the entire film.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Yeah, I'm wearing a blonde wig because I figured I'd be a cute lifeguard for my lifeguard outfit. I got my hair pulled up. Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Devon Huntley, I don't know about you, brother. I'm seeing about 62 people viewing off all the networks we're streaming to. So if you're just hanging out on my channel, which I don't give a fuck about, you can blow it up for all I give a shit. But we get about 61 to start in the first 20 minutes, and we'll have 200 people watching live after an hour. We'll have about 1,500 views after 24. I'm not looking to get big on this. I work in sanitation. Your opinion means nothing to me. But have a great day.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
I don't know either. He's on my channel, and that's fine.
Well, it's all right. Because we're streaming to X too. That's fine. But now I forgot where I was at. The trivia stuff that I sent you. I would like to bring that up so we can talk about it, because this movie's been out for what? Almost 50 years?
50 years this summer.
Wow, that is a long time. And it still stands up well. This movie still stands up really well on everything in it, I thought. What do you guys think about that?
There's a few parts in it where the pacing could be just a might bit tightened up, but it eats its runtime really well. I'm not
talking about the pacing. I'm talking about the effects and the that stuff. Like the other night we were watching that other movie, how well it held up over all the years. You said they didn't like the mist or whatever, the lasers or whatever it was, but everything else held up really well over all this time. That's what I mean. Even though this was all practical effects, basically, and three robotic sharks, okay? And then you had the, when he was bleeding from his mouth, when he was being eaten by the shark, it was acting. You see what I mean? Acting is what made this movie so good. Like with Richard Dreyfuss' facial expressions and his anger and his banter between him and Quinn, all that is what made it more dramatic and more where you're like, oh my God, someone's about to die. And then you hear the music getting higher and higher and building up the tension. all of that together is why this movie was such a huge success, even after all this
Well,
time. Because now you have young people watching this
You got
movie.
Roy Scheider, who
Mhm.
had established himself as an actor previously.
Yeah.
Richard Dreyfuss, this was like his second movie
Mhm.
or second
Oh,
big
was it?
movie.
For real? Yeah, he was
And
pretty young.
then you got Robert Shaw, who had a short but very talented career. Not only was he an actor, but he was a playwright, a novelist.
Yeah.
So like,
Did he ever write scripts too?
I don't know
Yeah.
if he ever got involved with that.
I think he did, unless
I don't know. I'd have to
it
look
was
it up.
screenplays.
Yeah, I thought it was more screenplays than scripts.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the thing is that all of these people were so talented.
Hey, Devontae Huntley, you little cunt nigger, you can go fuck yourself. Flip that.
Well, good. Well, just can't you block them?
I am. I'll get in there.
I can't because I'd have to be over on your
Yeah.
channel.
Unfortunately, I'm not on.
Yeah. See, I'm just.
Drop the Van Hammer on him. Move on.
I don't know who that is.
Internet trolls abound.
That same guy that came that one time. He had a different name. It's probably the same person. They just redid their. I bet it's a new.
I don't know. They're a dime a dozen.
But now I've lost my train of thought again.
So the whole scene where they were comparing scars, like,
Oh yeah,
that was awesome.
they burned the engine
When
up.
Roy pulled up his shirt and showed his appendix scar, that was an actual scar.
Yeah, but what was funny was the fact that he was standing there, and they were doing their thing back and forth, trying to bond basically.
The machismo pissing contest with
it was
their injuries.
Was just pouring out, on each other, and they were like, like peeing on each other, basically. I've seen so many men do that kind of stuff. But the fact that they bonded from that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because after that night, remember the next day after Quinn had made so much fun of him because he had all the tanks and he had the scuba gear and then he had the shark cage. He was making fun of him the whole time. And then he realizes, oh, well, I tore up the radio because he was being a macho guy. And then the engine's gone now. So he's looking around and he's realizing we're dead. We're all going to die. So he's like, well, how do these things work when he picks it up? So he humbled himself down to appease him, to try to, because he realized, we got to work together or we're all going to die. And that's when you realize he is a man and he does want to live. He doesn't want to die. So I like that scene, team. That was a really good emotional scene between the three men on the ship. But the scene where he's throwing the chum, when he goes, Brody, throw some more chum out there. And he's like, well, let him do it. He goes, he's driving the boat or whatever. So he even though he's Chief Brody, he has to get up and get the chum bucket, and start throwing that nasty stuff off the corner. And he's chucking it and he's pissed off, because you saw earlier that Richard Dreyfuss part's like all pissed off, because he feels like the guy's riding his ass, which he was, because he's being a dick, basically. But that's who he is. And he's doing the chum, and then all of a sudden you see the shark's head come up, and he just eyes get real big, and he just stands there, and then he slowly backs up, away from the shark into the cabin of the boat, and he's like, "You're gonna need a bigger boat." And that was ad-libbed completely, and it was a genius move, because that is an iconic line now. Everybody knows when you say that line, everybody knows what movies it's from. So it just was phenomenal to see these three in a confined area and the wonderful camera angles that the director chose to use to portray the tension between all three of them. Like the scene leading up to putting on the first barrel, and then he at the last second goes, oh, I need that beacon to put on this so we can find it later on. All that work that they went through, he lost it, remember? Because that was the first barrel that got cut off because the shark chewed through that line, got it off. So they had to redo it again. But all the tension building up for that whole scene was just, you just biting your nails, That's when you're you're taking your popcorn and just gouging yourself on it because it's so good. Because it's so good. The scenes were it just goes constant. You don't ever have really a drop, because after it calms down a little bit, that's when they start doing the banter back and forth, in the room, and they're pounding on the table and singing and showing each other their scars, like beating on their chests or whatever however you want to do that. And then all of a sudden, here comes the shark, and it starts beating on the side of the boat and putting water in. And that's when they realize, well, I don't know what we're going to do, but we got to get this shark because he's going to kill all of us. And they all knew how big it was by then, too. They it was huge. But I love the angles.
Janet, do you remember the movie we did called Where Eagles Dare with Clint Eastwood and Robert Jordan, I believe?
No.
Do you
I
remember?
don't think we did that one. I don't
we did.
remember us doing that.
We
Clint
did
Eastwood
it
movie.
2 years ago. It was like one of the
What was
first
the name
It
of
was
it
a-
again?
Where Eagles Dare.
Cool movie.
It was a war movie from World War II. Clint Eastwood at the
Did it have a
very
ship?
last.
Was it a ship?
Nope.
Oh, trying to remember.
No, they got dropped off in Europe, and they came across God, what were those partisans called?
They had to
don't
save a
remember.
captured American general from the Schloss Adler fortress. Except
I don't
Yeah.
remember doing that movie.
Well,
I really
we
don't.
reviewed it, and it had Richard Burton, Clint Eastwood, and Mary Err. Mary Err marries Robert Shaw, and then she died
Oh,
in
in real
70
life?
In real life,
Okay.
they had a kid together, and then they got married. They had 3 more kids,
Mhm.
but
Mm-mm. I
Mary
don't remember.
Err, I believe, is the one that gave Robert Shaw the serious amount of alcoholism he had. Those
Oh.
two were
Which
severe.
kind
An alcoholic?
Severe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I didn't have time
him
to.
and Oliver Reed would have been best
bud.
buds.
Seriously, best buds.
That's
Well,
terrible. That's
Robert
really sad.
Shaw-
Is that why he died?
That's one of the reasons he died. He had a heart attack, and
That's
primarily due to how he treated his body. But the thing is that you have these wonderful people that are married and make great movies. They're not good people really, but she died of alcoholism related illness in 75.
Mhm.
And he starts losing his luster for life. This movie here helped him peak. Okay, this movie.
So this was during that time.
This is like during that time where her health was
Well, I'm
failing,
glad he had a good movie before he.
and he had like
Yeah.
3 more years.
He had a couple actually.
He had 3 more films that he did, and after he finished filming Avalanche Express, he had a heart attack going from Castlebar, County Mayo, to his home in Tourmaketti, which is somewhere up in Scotland. And as he is driving, he just pulls a car over. He's looking ill. He collapses. They take him to the General Hospital in Castlebar, and he's pronounced dead. So that, like, he'd been making information known in the last few years of his life. He was not really enjoying the filming as much as he was. His health was getting worse. He was a real serious alcoholic. Schneider and Dreyfuss both remarked on his sobriety. When he was sober, he was the best man to work with. The moment he has his first drink of the day, that's when the competition and the insults and everything starts. And you're looking at a rough day of filming. In fact, he gets so upset with Dreyfuss that he starts cussing at Dreyfuss and says, "You're not a real man unless you're going to jump off from that crow's nest 70 foot up. You're nothing." And
up on the ship
when
when they were making this movie.
off the Orca while they're making this movie.
Oh,
And it's so bad that Dreyfuss just throws his hands up in the air at one point, and he walks off set for the day. He's like, I'm done. I can't do this. Burton was a complete, or excuse me, Shaw was a complete ass. And it's
no
it's
wonder Steven Spielberg had all the nightmares and stuff afterward. Then
Yeah, because Robert Shaw didn't make it easy. This is like Peter O'Toole and Oliver Reed combined levels of alcoholism. The way that the diary of this went out, and I believe Carl Gottlieb wrote the book, The Jaws Log, and he talks about it pretty extensively. in there. Go ahead. I wanted to throw that in there because Shaw is an amazing actor.
Brilliant man, amazing actor, but goddamn the alcohol.
Yes.
I didn't know anything.
Not
about
everybody's
that.
a happy drunk.
That's really, really sad. That's really, really sad.
We have a request for a movie called 47 Meters Down.
I haven't seen that, so that'd be a new movie I haven't seen.
I recall seeing it like advertised, but I have not watched
Yeah,
it
I
yet.
remember seeing something. Maybe if I watched the trailer, I'll remember seeing some stuff about it. But I don't know. I haven't seen it. But,
it's just a 2017 movie. It's not super woke.
Oh, it's not that old. Okay.
No, it's 2017.
But yeah, we usually do older movies, but that's fine. I mean, we did Notorious because I wanted to see it, even though it was a newer movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't want to do what everybody else is doing. I have noticed that after we did G.I. Jane, there's been like 6 other channels decided to do it. So it wasn't as shitty a movie as you thought it was.
Just because they reviewed it doesn't mean they gave it their own reviews.
Well, I still think it was a good movie to show that they shouldn't lower the standards.
I blame it on the algorithm, personally.
Yeah, you probably when we start talking about things like that, you upload things that are like a video that's got the title G.I. Jane in it. I'm willing to bet you spin the algorithm to show you more stuff about G.I. Jane.
But I am going to tell you something that I did because I'm on Instagram, right? And I was following Demi Moore on there, and she posted a couple days back, and I unfollowed her.
What happened?
She posted a video for Harris.
Oh.
So I was like, I really love you, Demi, but I just can't. I can't do it. You know, how can I tell people that they need to be themselves and not, you know, suck up and do all that shit if I do it? So I said, I just went click and clicked unfollow. So, oh well, but I did do it. So if I see something like that, then I'm, you know, especially a star, you know,
Patty
someone
Duke's son put out a video for Harrison Walls too, so don't worry.
Who did?
Patty Duke's son, Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Patty
Duke's son, Sean Astin, put
Oh.
out a video.
Sam Wise. Sam Wise went full retard.
Is he the guy that was on the 70s show?
No.
Oh. I say I'm trying to picture who he is. I don't think I know.
He was in Lord of the Rings most recently.
Oh, the chubby guy that went up the mountain?
Yes, the fat hobbit.
Oh, what a dum-dum. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Well, it's like Robert Shaw. He confessed to being a socialist. And you know my opinion on socialists. Socialists aren't people. So it pains me to hear that. And I'm thinking maybe it's that weird British socialism where they want social programs. They don't want to starve or kill you type of thing. So yeah, Robert Shaw had alcoholism, which made him an ass to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a socialist. That puts a bad taste in my mouth, but I still value him as an actor. He had talent. It's just things had gone a different route.
I didn't know he was a socialist.
Yeah.
Why does it seem like all the socialists are rich?
Because they don't believe in what they preach.
Apparently they don't, or they just believe in it for themselves and not other people. That other people don't have the right to be rich.
Say, not as I do. That's all
Yeah.
it is.
I don't agree with that. You know, you can't tell your kid don't smoke while you're smoking, because my mother would do that, and I'm glad I don't smoke. But she would smoke. I never saw her without a cigarette. So, but she would tell us no, but not because she thought it was unhealthy. She said it until when you're old enough to buy your own, basically. So, you know.
Well, if you are going to smoke something good, like
only one of us smoke now.
Jerry Cavendish or
out of all of us
Golden
girls.
Arcadian. Get yourself a Briarwood pipe. Be sophisticated and cool.
But yeah, I think that there's just so much detail in this movie. Do you want me to bring up the trivia thing?
Please.
Okay. I can present it because I think I have it on here. I'm getting it. I hope I can find it. Is it this one? Let me look. Yeah, I think it's this one. Yeah, I just really love this one. Let me go to the top. Yeah, I found this while I was looking through some stuff a couple days ago, because I just thought, wow, we got to have some good stuff because this movie is so iconic. But I thought this was really good because look at the detail on this shark. Even though they had so many problems with 3 different ones, they just did really, really good. And the part where he was brave enough, this guy was brave enough to go inside the mouth of a robot, that had all these teeth, even though they were rubbery and stuff. That's brave, even though I guess, he thought, well, I'm not going to get my paycheck if I don't. So I guess I better. But the thing is, it says, it's 45 years ago this weekend. I just still can't believe that. It just doesn't seem possible. But it says the world's first summer blockbuster hit. So I would like to know, though, if anyone in the chat wants to tell us what they thought about the movie. I'm only talking about the original Jaws because I saw the second one, but I didn't see the others. I didn't see any of the other Jaws. But I have this poster right now hanging on my wall. It's framed and everything, but I do have a poster of that. And it's been decoupaged so that it doesn't get ruined. But yeah, because it's one of my movies that made me not swim. I mean, I don't swim out to the sandbar anymore. After I saw this, when my parents brought this movie home for us to watch, I have never swam the sandbar since. I just can't do it. And I watched documentaries, so I know they really will eat you, or you will die if you could die. Your chances go way up, especially if you're out there. You just bleed to death, and you might not have an arm or a leg, or who knows, a hip or whatever. It's just scary as hell. But it says, here's one of the things I thought was really cool. It's hard to separate Steven Spielberg's brilliant movie that's from this book, right? I'm just going to skip through it. I don't want to have to read all of it. But it said that it hit theaters on June 20th, 1975. And that it says that Richard Dreyfuss played oceanographer Matt Hooper, and it was originally planned for a Christmas 1974 release. Lengthy shooting delays. You could, because of the shark, basically kept having all the problems with the robotic shark, so they weren't able to do it. Just like we were talking about earlier, that's when you usually had hits, was in the fall, around Christmas, Thanksgiving, and stuff like that. So the fact that delay, because of Bruce, is the reason why it became the first summer blockbuster. So it broke records for that. I thought that was really good. So are you guys still there?
I'm here.
Okay. I just didn't hear anything, so I didn't know. And I can't see it. You can't see where we are.
Continue.
Looking
That's
at
good.
I'm looking at this other page. Okay, then it says, because it was filmed at Martha's Vineyard. So I thought that was interesting because I didn't know that that's where it was filmed. But I remember when I went to, I think it was Universal Studios, where I got to see the whole thing where you ride this little boat and it takes you through Amityville, and you can see the docks, and it's got the little fishery, buildings and the paintings, and then it has the shark that comes up out of the water and stuff. I just thought that was really cool. And it was funny, though, standing in line, because I think I wrote it like 4 or 5 times. But the thing is, standing in line, a lot of people never saw Jaws, and they were getting on this thing to write it. And I said, does this make you want to go watch the movie? And some of them were like, no. So I guess it wasn't as impressive as I thought it was, but I think anyone who's seen the movie that gets to go there and write it would really enjoy it. And it is almost, it's almost like it's immersive, like you're in the movie if you've seen it before. Okay. And then they said that the iconic poster wasn't created for this film. It says the image of the girl swimming across the top of the water while a massive great white surges towards her from below is actually purloined from the illustration that someone named Roger Castell for the novel's paperback edition. So it wasn't for the movie; it was for the the book that was
Apparently,
written.
the book is so good that everybody, the producer, director for Jaws, Spielberg, and his other guys, they all read the book within a day.
Hmm. I've
I
never
did.
been able to do that. Have you been able to do that? Get a paperback and just sit and read the whole thing in one day?
Oh, yeah.
The closest I ever did
Really?
to reading a whole book in one single day
Mhm.
was back in '97, before I got the internet accessible to me,
Yeah.
and I've done it once, but it was a really good book.
My freshman year of high school was at my dad's. My dad didn't have internet. This was, 91, 92. So, like, my only real joy, since he didn't have cable either, he was skinflint when it came to that, was to go to the school library and check out books. So I got into Pierce Anthony's Xanth novels through a friend of mine. He let me borrow Spell for Chameleon. So I started reading those books up until the most recent novel at that time. So I went through probably 5 books within a week. Granted, they were 200-300 page
Did you
and some
ever,
change, but
6
continue.
Did you ever see this photo when it came out about 8 years ago?
That one there, yeah.
Yeah, do you
One, this
remember what
one.
happened?
I'm about to show this one.
The guy went diving. He had a phone that could take photos underwater.
Hmm.
And so he's all happy, and he gets underwater and he's swimming, and he snaps a selfie, and then he gets his leg ripped off by this shark behind him. The phone,
In real life?
in real life, the phone uploads this photo to his social media, and his friends find out about a half hour later after a bunch of comments like, "Oh my God, that's awesome! There's a shark behind you," and other excited comments on his
See,
photo.
I thought that was fake.
Nope, that's a real photo. That's him getting ready to get his leg ripped off. He lost his, I believe his
Where
right
was
leg.
this at?
I want to say Costa Rica.
Oh, how horrible is that? I'm glad
Some
he
place where
lived.
they have sharks.
I'm glad he didn't die. I mean, because so
No,
many
no, no,
people
no. He died. He died
Oh,
of blood
he did?
loss. He died of
Oh.
blood loss.
That's what I said.
There's
Most people die
there's
from
no way
things
for him
like
to
that.
not die from blood loss on that.
But they found that on his camera.
His camera wasn't found
Oh,
for like a bit, and they just, I don't even think they actually found it. They just had it upload that, and then the camera put it
yeah,
down.
bad about
Yeah.
that. The cloud.
It's crazy.
That's horrible.
Just Wi-Fi. There's no cloud. It's all a lie.
That's
There was no
horrible.
Wi-Fi at the beach. Have you ever been to the beach? I showed you the beach about 20 minutes ago.
But I'm saying the cloud. The cloud is not a physical cloud.
No, it's
All
not.
false advertising.
Oh, no. Wait. Well, when Kamala explains it, it's a real cloud.
So a happier story, but equally horrible. What was it? A month or two ago, I was listening to Mr. Bollin's stories. This one happened to be like the most unlucky dude in the world. So the gist of it is he survived and he's got a memento. But the dude went down to South Africa to go surfing. It's from like Minnesota or some crap. And the nearest village is like 3 hours away. And he went surfing by himself on this beach, pristine beach, beautiful. He gets out there and he sees a shark like 30 yards away from him. So he's like, okay, keeping an eye on it. It goes away. He's doing his thing, catching some waves. He's back out there. It came back and he's like, oh shit. It's like curious about me now. And so he's thinking, okay, I'm pretty far off the coast. I gotta catch a wave to get back in. So he waits for another set and he's trying to outrun this shark. And the shark hits his board and like chomps it in half, nicks him, and he's bleeding and he's trying to get back to the vehicle. And so he has to catch another wave. to get back in on this busted surfboard that's half eaten, and he makes it back, and he gets to the shore, and he's bleeding profusely, and he gets in, and he takes an old t-shirt and tries to bandage himself up, and he's thinking, God, I'm going to bleed out before I get to this village. And he starts driving, and he's getting tired, and he kind of stops, and he remembers that there was a water hole nearby, and like he had drank all his water and there was nothing. And so he gets out and he goes to this watering hole, and he like starts drinking some water, and he like leans up against a tree and kind of closes his eyes, and he's thinking, God, I'm going to die here. And then he somehow finds the will to live, and he kind of wakes up, and then he feels a sharp pain in his ribs. So his legs all chomped on. He looks down, and there's like this young lion gnawing on him, and he's able to fight it off, and he's not in any shape to run to the vehicle because the keys are in there, and so he tries to scare it away, and he hobbles off however many yards away from the watering hole he parked. And at that point, there's like a small pride of lions that are looking at him like, why aren't you dead yet? You look like food. Why are you still moving? Why aren't you running away in fear? Not realizing that he's hobbling, trying to save his life. And so they come up and they start swiping him and shit, and he's getting clawed. He's been bit by a shark. He's been bit by a lion. And then he basically climbs into his Jeep to basically die. He's like, I'm not going to make it. I'm too fucked up. And so he passes out, and then he wakes up to the sound of gunshots, and I guess there was a safari tour nearby, and folks saw the lions and saw the vehicle, and they were able to get him to the town and then call in for an airlift and get him to a hospital, and he ends up surviving. And then at his work, he plastered his half-eaten surfboard up on the wall as a reminder. Don't give up, and
He keeps it.
and he survived it all. Yeah, it was a keepsake, and it was just a gnarly story of a guy trying to have fun, and he had like the worst day imaginable.
And he lived, though.
Yeah,
He's got
it was epic.
good coagulation or whatever that's called for his blood. It's got healthy blood to be able to. His body said, "Okay, we got to shut this off so we can stay alive." Because
Yeah,
to cut off your body all by itself will stop sending blood to your feet and your hands and things like that to make sure your brain gets plenty of blood. You see what I mean? It's weird how our
and so
body.
this guy's like super dehydrated, weak from blood loss. Like his will to live was epic.
Yeah, it's amazing. There was a movie that came out. Trying to remember the kid's name that was in it, or the actor, and he got his arm stuck, and he ended up cutting his own arm.
Yeah,
127 hours of the James
Yeah,
Franco.
that's
Yeah.
right, James Franco. Yeah, so that was
had
based
to
on
cut off his arm with a pocket knife.
Mm-hmm. That was a story that I was telling people about, that I tell people about, is that there's this app called 360 or something like that. So you can track people in your family. You know, you put your numbers and stuff in there, and you know where they are when they're driving around and stuff. And everybody says, well, I don't want people tracking me. And they're tracking you anyways. It's just that you don't know it. You just don't know they're tracking you. But if you have a kid, you can put this on their phone and you can see where they're going, how fast they're driving. It depends on what you pay a month, what kind of stuff you get. But for free, you can just know where they're at. There was this show I watched called I Survived. Okay. And this show is the reason why I ended up getting it with my sisters, you know, that were living near us. We live near each other, so we know each other's at, especially when you go on a trip, you turn it on and they can find you. This husband and wife had this little business where they made sandals or something, and they drove and they set it up and sell them or whatever. Well, he would carry all the merchandise, and then she would go early and set up the place, you know, get it ready. So he was going, and something happened somehow, and he flipped off the road in their van, and he was upside down on a bunch of trees because it was over a bridge with a bunch of trees. And he was in the trees upside down, but he had his window open. He had his arm out like this, okay, when he flipped, and his arm got tangled up in some a branch that was stuck inside the top of his van. He's upside down, and his hands all tangled up, and he can't get it undone. So he ends up cutting his own fingers off and stuff so he can get it out, so he can get out from being hanging upside down. And even though he did that, he couldn't get his hand loose. And he was talking about how these rats came in the second night that he was hanging there and got his fingers and ran off with them. But they found him. A police officer or street sweeper or somebody was going by, and they thought they saw wheels sticking up out of the tree, and that's how they found him. But he lived. And I was like, man, I wish he'd had that 360 on there. Then his wife would have been able to find him, within hours, instead of him being there for days. But yeah, it was a really horrible stuff like that people survive. But I tell people all the time, if you have a loved one, try to put this on your phone just so they can find you in case you have an accident or something. So they know right where you're at.
I'm the total opposite. Like, I'll have my phone with me, but I don't like answering it.
Mm-hmm.
So
we didn't have to
I usually have it shut off.
Yeah, there was another one I saw, and it was on a documentary about this killer that was killing a bunch of girls, and this one girl disappeared. She was riding her bike on some trails, and she just never came home. And they remembered, oh, we got this app. Well, let's see if we can find her. And then when they watched it, they could see where she went. And it showed her going off of the trail and then going around and all these twists and turns, and then all of a sudden stopped like that. Because what she was running from this person. When she got away from him, she was trying to get away from this person. And he basically left her for dead in the woods, strangled her. She was unconscious or whatever. So when the police cam on his jacket, on their chest, he walks up over and they're looking down on her. She looks dead, like she's just laying there, and her eyes open, and he starts yelling, "Call the ambulance, she's alive." It was really, really emotional show to watch that one. So there's lots of good stuff like out there to see, that determination someone has, to play dead or whatever, to live so that you can live. I think it's not everybody has that. I wish everybody could, but we don't. But that's when my dad said, you guys are going to learn how to change a tire and stuff, because, when you're out in the middle of nowhere and your car breaks down, you can't just stand around and wait for someone to come and fix it for you. You got to be able to do it yourself. So.
Hey, Kronos.
So to circle back to the movie,
yeah, we're good at that.
Hooper goes and dives and hides out. And then Brody, he's stuck on the boat. What's he going to do? Well, he's going to take that M1 Grand and...
Well, he's in the cabin. Remember, the shark passes through, and that's when he puts that tank, the one tank for scuba diving, and shoves it in his mouth. Because he remembered what his friend told him, that be careful with these things; they'll explode, they'll blow up.
And that's a design decision by Spielberg, because Spielberg thought it would be more satisfying for the audience to have one final big boom. He
was right.
I mean,
I'm not the chum. You're the chum, buddy.
Yeah, and you would have a better reaction to seeing an explosive end to such a menace like that hellish shark. That's what you want, And I mean,
it's like a huge character arc, because you got to remember the tension's way up.
That was a classic thing in the 70s too, because another movie that scared the shit out of me was The Car.
Oh yeah,
about Angel LaVey's car.
Yeah, and that thing, when that thing blew up, that was the most satisfying thing. Although there was that demon in the
what was the name
smoke
of that
and the
movie?
fireball.
The Car.
The Car.
I don't think I saw that.
You've never seen The Car, Janet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's got an iconic set of wheels.
Another movie I would like us to watch is called High Tension. It's a foreign film. I know how much you love those, but I'd like to watch that.
Familiar.
If we're going to watch that, we're also going to watch Pac de Loup.
Because it's a thriller. But it's kick-ass and scary. It's really good.
High Tension.
Yeah.
That was the French movie, right?
Yes.
Does it have William Zabka in it?
I don't remember their names, but it's really, really good. It's a French film. And then there's another one, but I can't remember the name of it. And they're stuck on a.
Listen, I'll watch this movie because it's got Mai Win in it. Mai Win was the blonde-haired girl.
The one where they're stuck on the ski lift is Frozen.
Yeah. Oh, that one's a good one too. That's another one we could do. That's a very good one. Did you see it?
Not to be confused with the Disney film.
It was it a Disney film? Oh no.
Not to be confused with the Disney film.
Thriller. Yeah, when they're trapped up there, when they turn up, because nobody knows they're up there. They snuck on. So hopefully it teaches a lot of young people not to sneak around and do dumb shit.
The shark is named Bruce.
Although one of the most epic survival films was Surviving the Game.
Mm-hmm.
That's an enjoyable movie.
Was that with I'm trying to remember what his name is.
Ice-T as the homeless dude being hunted down by Lance Henriksen and his crew.
I was thinking about the movie with damn it, the guy from Romancing the Stone. What's that actor's name?
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas. He's in and he meets his friends or something, and they're playing a game or something. Remember that one?
Oh,
I can't remember the name of it for the life of me.
This is Luc Besson's girlfriend of many years. She was a star, the opening part of The Professional. She was in it. She also plays the opera singer in The Fifth Element. There we go.
Oh, is that her?
That's also
yeah. She wasn't the actual singer though.
She was not the actual singer, but she plays the part of the opera singer, and then she's also in your movie High Tension.
Oh, yeah, High Tension's good. Well, she's a good actress. She was really good at portraying the alien woman in Fifth Element. She's unique looking. It's very exotic. Yeah, that's it. Those two are really good. The blonde is kick-ass actress. Because I just happened upon it one day. I was just flicking channels and I was bored. And it popped up and I was like, oh, I guess I'll start watching it. And I was like enthralled. It was really good.
Okay.
I liked it.
If we're going to watch this, we'll have to watch Pact de Loup, or known as Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Okay. What about that other one that you were talking about? It looked like Last of the Mohicans type movie. With swashbuckling like one. I don't remember the name of
Brotherhood of the Wolf has a sword fight in it. It has a big.
I don't know. It's one that you were showing me previews of it, and you said we're going to put that in the list. So it's a while back. I can't remember.
It was probably Brotherhood of the Wolf.
I'd have to see it to see who's in it to tell you if that was it or not. But it looked really, really good. It looked
Mark Dacascos as Manny.
Dangerous Liaisons type clothing and stuff.
Yeah, it's Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Paul Revere, whatever that, capes and stuff like that. I can't remember. Is that it?
Yeah, I believe this is what you're looking for. Hold on.
I can't remember the name of the actors. Yes, that's it. That's it.
It's Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Yes, put that on the list too. I would definitely like to see it. I haven't seen it, but I want to. It looks really, really good.
Got to see it in the theater. It was pretty cool. I got it on DVD. Got to see the French version. It was
really busy when you went and saw it at the theater.
Actors. No, because I went at 11:30 in the morning to see a matinee. So
and you're not going
I had it pretty much to myself. It was a good film.
This movie has so many interesting shots in it. I'm looking forward to it.
I can just love the clothing already. So to me, I just love that stuff.
It came out right after The Matrix, so there's a lot of...
The lack of clothing was pretty epic, too.
Really? Okay. Well, the clothing right there, all those costumes are just freaking awesome. And I recognize a lot of the actors.
Yeah, it's got Monica Bellucci and her husband. What's his face? I can't remember his name for the life of me, but I've seen him in a few movies, and he's a good actor. And of course, Mark Dacascos, and then a bunch of French people, which did a really good job. But I don't know any of them.
Yeah, I've seen him in a lot of stuff.
He was in John Wick 3. He was John Wick's simp. If you remember that, he was every chance he had to kiss John Wick's ass, he did.
Yeah.
Especially after he got his ass beat.
Well,
Good movie.
learn.
Brother of the Wolf and High Tension. We'll put those on there.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Is he the son of the Iron Chef? He should be. So,
That's
for those of you that are in the chat and you're still with us, still wanting to pay attention, do me a favor. I want Janet to read your scores. So if you've seen Jaws in 1975 film that we are all talking about for the last hour and 30 minutes.
Well, we didn't talk about it the whole time. We talked about other things too.
There's a lot of side chatter, but it's like our D&D game yesterday where we were on for 7.5 hours and we played for 5.
Mm-hmm.
I was okay
It's
with
fun.
that.
And I leveled up.
And that's healthy.
Yeah.
But
Wait,
yeah.
Oh yeah, you did that.
So what was your score, Bruce?
This movie is pretty iconic. As far as like enjoying the actual movie itself, I never really have. I'm not a big super fan of shark movies, of Jaws, of the 70s monster film started off because of this.
Mm-hmm.
They had Orca, they had Tentacles. After this, there was a whole bunch of really bad movies. There was some bright spots.
Swarm.
Jaws is good. Swarm's good. The first 2 Piranha movies are good.
Well, American Werewolf in London.
No. That's not a monster movie like Jaws is.
I was gonna say it's a monster movie, but
but Jaws is it's a believable monster movie because it actually could happen.
yeah.
Food of the gods.
Yeah, a werewolf movie like American Werewolf in London, or Godzilla,
I guess
Mothra.
you're right.
That's more sci-fi, But
Mm-hmm.
this movie, it scores a solid 85 for me across the board. It's not super low, but it's lower than a lot of other people because they think that it's like the 10 out of 10 iconic summer film, and for me, it's not a 10 out of 10. It's a good movie. It's got some great believable performances. There's some things in the film that you can see there's real problems between the actors and cast. And to me, that bleeds through. That bled through the first time I watched it, where it looked like they were not having a good time filming. Like they were having
Really?
I've never really, quote unquote, enjoyed this one. And Jaws 2 is, as much as it's not a better movie than Jaws 1, I actually feel that movie moves along at a faster clip than this does. I know that sounds weird if we watched them both together, within minutes of each other. I would probably
substitute the air tank for a power line, and
that's it. That's
it's almost the same movie.
Fucking movie. But I kind of like the pacing of Jaws 2 better. There's nothing else better about Jaws 2. I even think the way the Jaws shark is animated is
you would
worse
expect the
than
second
Part
one to be more paced because it's basically almost in the same area, and he'd already been through this before. So he would figure out how to get rid of it faster, and he didn't have the other people that he had to leap over or fight with to get it done because those people aren't in the movie.
It's not a bad movie by any means for me. It's just a movie that I've grown up with this film. My family, when it's on, this is my family's Die Hard. If this movie's on and nothing else is, like, instead of going and reading a book or like turning on your favorite musician, this movie comes on.
Mm-hmm.
This was played on TNT back in the 90s a lot.
Yeah, and that was my experience with it because we had free cable. My dad was mayor of our small town. One of the perks was you get free cable. So I saw a lot of Jaws 1. And I didn't watch all of
Jaws
it.
2, I've only seen in black and white when it was televised.
Jaws 2
I just realized that.
That's not a superior film. It probably is even
No,
better.
it's not.
The reason why I say it's
I
better,
enjoyed it.
because your mind adds details to it that you're not seeing.
Yeah.
And that's always preferable than actually having a director go out of his way, unless you've got Rob Bottin doing special effects with unlimited budget, like The Thing. You're not going to get a great result. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, there was a few movies in the '80s that are must watch movies, like The Thing, The Fly, films like that. If you like practical effects, those are must watch movies, because those show you how to do good practical effects and they have a good story with them. But
Yeah.
Jaws and Jaws 2, not my favorite movies. They did teach me to stay the hell out of the ocean, and I didn't get that until I was in my 40s.
Yeah.
But, all my Mexican friends in the oil field, they don't go to the ocean. They don't go in the water. They might go to the beach. They stay on the sand. They don't fuck with that water. There's stuff in that water that will kill you dead. And
There's fish poop in that water, folks.
Well, you can't drink it.
We're not talking about the sea and river here. We're not talking about the problem with we're going to have a triathlon, but we're going to make all of our swimmers sick during the swimming portion because they're going through raw sewage. The Olympics had so many good fails this year. We'll have to do a rant on the Olympics at some point when all this is blown over.
I didn't watch any of the Olympics.
All I've gotten from the Olympics was from news articles and memes. I didn't watch any videos or any of it while it was going.
I didn't miss anything. At least I don't feel like I did.
A white liberal woman.
A couple of years ago, when they got rid of all the traditional Olympic events, like it started with the Greeks. Like when they started getting rid of that, I was like, I'm over it. Now they got these weird categories, and thankfully some of them have been shut down. So
Six Nations, what is your score?
My score.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that would be 85% easily. The scenes, there's certain specific scenes that I can bring up from memory, and they've been refreshed with our viewing of it, and those are iconic. Like, obviously, you got the action scenes that everybody remembers, and ooh, sharks eating people, but it's the smaller scenes.
Yeah.
Like when he's cutting open the shark, and he's throwing out big chunks of fish, and then there's the tin can and the license plate. Like, that's stuck in my head. I'm like, that's extremely realistic.
Mm-hmm.
The scene at the dinner table, that was awesome, because that was like a guy going through a bunch of shit, and he's trying to keep his sanity and be stoic and do the job as not only a father, but the chief of police, and he's got all this shit in his head. And then he looks over at his son, and they start doing goofy faces and shit, and it's a human moment. It's awesome. So, like, I see that.
Yeah.
And then there's the part of me that really digs the cheesy horror, gore and all that crap. And then also, on the same note, the effects. Like, yeah, it's a big clunky mechanical shark, but it works well. And at the time, that was like state of the art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, when I watch a movie, and I try to think back of when it came out. So when I'm watching it and I'm rating it, I rate it with that in mind too. Not just that it's coming out, because it's not coming out now. It's not a new film that's coming out of the theater to look like that. But I know that some theaters did put Jaws out to get more people to come to the movie stuff because of the COVID stuff, to try to get people to come back to the theaters for like bargain nights and stuff like that. And man, that would be fun to get a group of people and go watch Jaws on the big screen again with popcorn and everything. I think that would be a lot of fun. I would make like a costume party, say, hey, we're going to do it. Yeah.
There was a pool party where people.
Yeah. I posted that on my Instagram. I post a picture about the way that you're supposed to watch Jaws. It had a big screen outside. like an outdoor theater, and they
Yeah.
had people in their inner tubes and stuff. I thought that was cool. And if I could afford to do that, I would do that. I'd hire a place and have a big group of people come out and we'd have hamburgers and stuff. And then when night hit, we'd all get on our inner tubes and float around while we watched Jaws. I thought it was great. But my score, I'm going to give it a 9.5, just under a 10, because I gave 10 to my few of my very favorite movies. But the reason why it's so high to me is the fact that the iconicness of it, basically. Like I said, everything about it that was perfection. I mean, the editing was excellent. The music was perfect. It didn't take you out of the movie at all. The character arcs, the way the chemical reaction between all of the characters in the movie. I felt a loving, romantic relationship between him and his wife in the opening scene in the bedroom, right? The way that they're talking back and forth, and they get up and he looks out the window and he's getting ready for work and he's grabbing his stuff and she's teasing him about his accent, just little things, very personable between the two of them. And I thought they had very good chemical presence together as a husband and wife to portray those two characters. She seemed loving yet stern with him, like a real couple. And the way she was with her sons, like the one scene I was telling you about when he's at his desk and he's reading and looking through the shark manuals in the survival guides and all the different things, and you see all these shark attacks and you see the skin hanging off the bites, and it was just really mutilated meat, and it was just really scary when I was talking about it. And then he walks out on the porch when he asked her where his son was, because his birthday was the next day. And he says, well, she said, he's sitting in his boat. And he goes, what? And he runs out and he's telling him, get out of the boat. And you see the camera pans and you see the littlest one sitting on the dock looking at his big brother, like a little brother would be doing. And the big brother sitting in this new little boat that he got for his birthday. And he can't wait to be out on the water in it, because that's what boys do. They're ready to take on the world. And you see that, and the mother's like, don't, it's his birthday. And she's trying to argue with her husband like the normal parents would do. And then she takes the book from him and she's flipping through it, and she sees that one picture and it scans down the page, and it's a shark eating the boat. And then she says, get out of the boat. You hurt your father, So basically, that's what happens with all couples. You're going to bicker about stuff, but when it comes down to it, especially with your kids, you're going to back each other. You're going to react the same way because you both love your children. So I just loved the character arcs between the husband and the wife, and the scene where she goes and she takes him a bag for his trip on the boat with Quinn. And she's saying it's got Blistex and sunscreen. She said, like a normal wife. So I just thought it was really, really good. The way that the two went back and forth with each other. And then she hears Quinn yelling and screaming and belittling everyone. And she didn't like him, because that's totally not her husband. Her husband's very respectful, and because he's a police chief, he treats people with respect. And this guy's total opposite. And she's worried about her husband being with this guy. So she runs off, she's upset when she leaves. So that whole thing I thought was really, really good. Then I gotta take my trash out. Sorry. Then you have the banter between the shark guy genius, which is Richard Dreyfuss, and the sheriff too, and how they get along. And you see his analyticalness with the people, the chaos that's going on, especially when the guys are overloading that one boat, and he seems like, oh, they're all dumb motherfuckers, basically, is what he's thinking to himself. So I thought that was really good for his character, because his character arc is too, because he gets knocked down a couple notches when he realizes that even though he has all this stuff and all this money, it still won't help you in this type of scenario. So I love that whole character arc for him. And then you have Quinn's character, that's a rough and tumble, mean, crotchety older guy that has been sharking pretty much his whole life, it seems like. And he thinks he's better than everyone when it comes to knowing about sharks. Because even in the back of the room, when he scratches on the chalkboard to get everybody to turn around and look. That's saying that he would hunt the shark, but he wants this much money up front. Says he's already pushing his manhood around at that time. So when they're all on the boat and you see them all button heads, and the way that they filmed it, just like I said, the confinement of the ship, the way that they went around and filmed the boat with them interacting on it, I just thought was just really, really good. It brought everybody in the theater into this teeny tiny ship. We're all crammed in there, and I just thought that was really good. And the tense scene was tense almost through the whole thing. Even though they weren't really doing anything, it was learning how to tie knots and whatever else. And when you see Quinn, the thing starting to move on the fishing rod, and then he slides on his straps. And then he grabs it and he's holding it and he's got his feet on there to lean back. You can feel the tension rising, even though you don't even see a shark. We don't even see a shark for like over an hour, right? Basically in this movie, but the tenseness is building, and all three of them, you can tell by the way they're talking to each other and the way they're bickering and arguing and getting mad at each other, that there's a lot of tension built up. So after all that goes on, and then that night they're in there and they're drinking, and then that's when they start doing the whole thing with their scars and talking about different things they went into. And then it gets really deep when he talks about the ship that he was on when they dropped the bomb off for Hiroshima, and how they're stranded out there when their ship gets hit by torpedoes, and all the men go in the water and the sharks are just slowly feasting on all of them before they come get them, because it was a secret mission. So you start to see Quinn differently, you know what I mean? So his character arc changes a little bit, so you start to understand him. So I just loved all of that. I thought there was so much detail and richness in all the characters, and the way that their director worked very hard for us to see each character in a certain light. And I think he did it. I think there's no way to say that he didn't. Every single person that was supposed to be important in this movie was, because of his details and the way that he wanted us to see it. And I think he did great. And when it came to all the practical stuff that he did to achieve each goal, for it to be like, even the leg when it falls, from the guy that gets his leg bitten off in front of the kids in the pond area. Today, when we see it, we know it's a rubber leg. But at the time when this movie came out, I guarantee people were screaming in the theaters, because it was so realistic. Like I said, I almost started crying as a mom, to see that little boy on that raft, and to see those, I get emotional thinking about it, to see the raft bubble up in the blood and stuff, and then the floppy side, whatever you call those, fins on the shark. My heart just drops every time I even think about it, because that happens in real life. Real people die from shark attacks every year, and that to me it's still just as scary when I watch it. The thought of that one girl at the very beginning, just a romantic tryst she's going to have on the beach with a cutie she met at a bonfire on the beach, and she just wants to go skinny dipping and make out and have a wonderful night. And she gets out in the water and she's swimming around, and then she dies begging God to save her. That to me was heartbreaking. So to me, I see so much in this movie. It's just packed in there. And I think Steven Spielberg did a phenomenal job. And to me, this is the best movie he ever made. He did everything he could as a director, and he worked very, very hard. You can tell, because every person he picked, the editor, the costumer, the guy that helped him make the props for the robot, the actors that he chose. I mean, even the extras were phenomenal. They made you believe they were on a beach on the 4th of July, having fun swimming, and then panicking because of shark attacks and stuff. So to me, it's a 9.5. It's almost a 10. So there was like you said, there were a couple little lulls here and there, but I don't care.
Is it severe? No.
Still giving it a 9.5, because
it's not a severe set of problems. I mean, it's just something that I've noticed whenever I've watched this movie. And later, like whenever I do deep dives, I go into commentary tracks or I start reading on screen diaries or such. I find stuff that like it completely you're like eureka. I knew that. I had that feeling since I watched it, and
Mhm.
and this deep dive today we did. It just kind of reaffirmed to me that like Shaw was a great but yet troubled actor, and he's of that generation of good actors that we wouldn't even have today because they would boom him out of the business. We couldn't have a Robert Shaw, we couldn't have a Oliver Reed or a Peter O'Toole because those motherfuckers would be drinking till 5 a.m., go to their trailer, get in makeup, and be like, "Well, I
They
guess."
still do that today. I hear about people, but they're not usually drinking it. They're snorting coke or doing other types of drugs and stuff. So they're still doing the same thing. I mean, I've heard about what was his what did the movie The Blues Brothers, John
But-
Belushi. You know
that was
him
in-
and his
that's
partner.
1980. Hold on, that's in 1980, Janet. That's
Oh, I know, but
25 years
still.
after the movie.
Mhm.
But
We're talking beer tabs or bottles of J&B.
Mhm.
I was going with the vice of alcoholism. Like the drugs, there's a complete different set. It hits the same numbers. It hits the same dopamine for certain
Mhm.
people. But like we couldn't have this group of wonderful alcoholics that made good films for us back in the golden and silver days of cinema. Today, they could not make $1. They
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't.
Mary thank God she lived when she did because she would not have made anything more than whatever a woman at Cato dresses and outfits makes, or whatever the story is for fat girls. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but can I jump in for a second? I wanted to read Crafting Gamers. He put 5 out of 10 as his score.
Yeah, I would actually want him, like Crafting. If you're still here, I want to. If you could just put some information in chat, or if you want to link, brother, I'll close one of my windows. You can jump in because I want to hear your. I almost said excuse. Forgive me. I want to hear your reasoning for 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 is a lot lower than what I graded, and I think I'm pretty harsh on a movie that everybody else feels is a cinema classic. Don't you dare besmirch Jaws. It's the iconic summer film, and blah 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 blah. You say 5 out of 10. You earned your spot on the panel. Come up here, dude. Let me get you this link because I got to hear this.
I was going to say he was lower than you because I was trying to go through and see if I missed anybody.
You can have that opinion.
Mhm.
I want to hear his.
I'm curious because like I can see it from one aspect. Like I don't really do animal horror movies
Mhm.
unless they're really, really horrible,
Well, they're
like
going to go to the
Attack of the Killer Shrews or something like that. but it'd be interesting to hear that because like then you got another perspective.
Yeah, and Kronos is on here. He says it's an 8.3. So he gave it a pretty good score too.
Then we got.
I try to visualize it from when it came out. You know what I mean? I try to look at it, what the details that you would be able to have at your fingertips when you're putting it together. And I don't know. I just love this movie. It scares the shit out of me, and I cried a lot, but I still love it. I think it's very well made, very well put together.
The idea of being eaten is like horrifying. And
it really
thankfully,
is.
because of this movie, I was more aware of my surroundings.
Mhm.
So, like, the red triangle is a thing. Think of it from like the top of Marin County all the way to the Monterey in the month of October. For God's sake, don't be swimming in the water because you'll incur the wrath of the demon fish.
Just remember, friends, every time you swim in the ocean, you are fishing. You are swimming in fish, semen, and spunk, and diarrhea. Imagine you just swam through a cloud of fish diarrhea. You just thought the water was cloudy.
That's why it's so salty. Sorry, I had to say that.
Yeah, pineapple doesn't solve that.
Oh,
Crafting, how you doing, sir?
Hello. I'm fine.
sorry, it took me a little bit to read your score. I was waiting for them two to give theirs before I gave mine, and I'm very wordy. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's fine.
we'd love to hear. We'd love to hear your why.
I want to hear your criticisms of it because you're a little younger than me, not much, but I gotta hear this because my first viewing of Jaws, it wasn't an 8.5. That had to evolve.
Yeah. Oh. I found the movie honestly boring. I know a lot of people, it had so much in it. It's like, there's a reason for that though. I was spoiled for these type of movies, as in I saw Alien before I saw any other movie like this. So almost, I have never seen a horror movie that rates to me at, I think, 6 years old watching Alien.
Wait, you saw Alien at 6 years of age?
Yep, with no nightmares. I absolutely loved the movie.
Okay.
That's
I'm
different
not.
for me. I saw The Exorcist when I was 4, and that's probably made me the wonderful person that I am today.
I love. I can see your opinion on that. Now that I know that about you, okay, I get it. I completely get it. Kronos, who saw it in the theater? Okay, they're going to have to be older than 49, okay? Because this movie came out when I was a wee baby, and it was supposed to come out the month before I was born.
Yeah, I was still swimming in my dad.
You weren't exposed yet.
I was still a pollywog.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, this movie, I mean, you could see it in the theater back during COVID because Alamo Drafthouse, before they closed down, the greatest, worst theater they had on Marbach. Now it's a Santikos theater. They have a theater that every showing of a movie, you could see the ceiling fans that they didn't adjust the projector for, so the ceiling fans were projected onto the screen because they didn't aim it down like a degree or a half a degree. And when you walk through that theater, your shoes would stick to the hard surfaces because of all the spilled carbonated drinks that were never mopped up. And the cockroaches would walk you and your popcorn to your seat. It was great, but it was part of the quote unquote the experience. I mean, there were pest problems there, but they weren't so horrible. It was an experience that you have to go through, kind of like whenever you go to the Orient, and don't go over there where they're preparing your sushi because it's on the sidewalk. Your sushi is on the sidewalk getting prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Don't go over there and look at that. Just go over to this clerk and buy the stuff that's already made for you. A half hour ago, they did the same thing to it, but don't think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
2001 Space Odyssey was 1969. Empire Strikes Back was 1980, and then 82 for Wrath of Khan. Both of those I've seen in theaters. I'm sure Janet has too. But during COVID, the movies that we're talking about today, Empire
Yeah, I
Strikes
saw Wrath of Khan at the movie theater.
Back, Jaws.
Yeah, 82 was a very busy summer and basically year because there's a lot of good stuff out.
The cocaine was good.
But
That's
plus,
all
you got to remember, I was at Air Force Base.
5-year-old me was loving it.
So you could go to the movies for like 50 cents on the base, and your parents could drop you off, or your sister could drop you off and leave you there. You didn't have to have a grown-up because you were on a base. So I grew up differently than most people had, just didn't have, the problems that a lot of other people had because I was lucky to have been on a base.
That's what we call an army brat.
Yeah, I was a military brat. My dad was Air Force, so I was lucky. And I say that a lot.
That's how my cousins were.
Mm-hmm.
I envy them. They're like, oh yeah, we got to go see this movie, and I'm thinking like, I got to mow how many lawns?
Yeah. See, after my dad got out of the service, then I had to start getting summer jobs. Because with 5 kids, you got to help pay for things if you want it on your own. So, yeah.
I think this movie has had a big impact on entertainment in whole, in general. I mean, when I think of summer films, I don't think of Jaws. There's a lot of other movies I think of that are better than Jaws. I don't think of Aliens, which was the movie of 1986, but that
Did it
was
come out in the summer?
this came out in
No, I mean Alien, the first one.
Aliens came out, I believe, in the summertime because there was another movie that I love more than Aliens that was supposed to be coming out and being the summer film.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Correct. But instead, Aliens came in, and like Hillary Clinton, as soon as she got on scene, it sucked up all the oxygen. Nobody could talk about any other film without talking about Aliens. Not that Aliens is bad. We've reviewed it. And
You mean
Aliens,
Sigourney
great.
Weaver?
Yeah,
Aliens is good. The director's cut is interesting.
You didn't say Sigourney Weaver. You said Hillary Clinton. So
Hillary
I was
Clinton- no. I equate Aliens, the movie,
Uh-huh.
to Hillary Clinton
Why?
because
The
when we
death toll?
talk about 1986 movies, no other movie exists to 90% of America except for Aliens. Aliens sucked up all the oxygen in the room for 1986. When that movie started going onto its media blitz, they were going apeshit crazy about throwing the trailer in front of every film, children's films, artsy releases, every movie you saw in late 85 up to the summer of 86, you would have the Aliens trailer in front of it.
Hmm.
And it would scare the piss out of you, and you had to see it. When I saw the trailer for it, I thought, wow, that looks neat, but I want to see Big Trouble in Little China because I like Kurt Russell. I've seen The Thing. My mom didn't want me to see it, but I saw The Thing, and I loved it. And
I
then
thought the thing was
another-
really, really good too.
he was in.
Those are my two top tens right there. The thing.
Yeah,
Big
the
Trouble.
thing is in the top 10 of my movies too. Because it's just a well-made movie too, though. You know, it's way up there in everything like I just talked about with this one, and also with Tombstone. The way it was made, the care and love that went into it from the director is why all those movies are as big as they are, because you could tell everybody involved wanted to see it be a success. And I wish we had more of that instead of people bitching and moaning, well, I didn't get top billing and I didn't make enough money or whatever, instead of wanting to see a craft come to life, something that they cared about.
And
when a person goes in and says, okay, I got picked to play this character, but you go in there and you want to be that character. Just like I said, when I was first told about Wolverine and I found out Hugh Jackman was picked for the lead, I wasn't very happy about it because I love Wolverine comic books. I have tons of them, and half of them are autographed, and stuff like that. And I take them to cons and get them autographed. And I wasn't happy because Wolverine is short and hairy. It's not tall and good looking, so I was mad because I felt like I was going to get ripped off. So when I saw it, it took me a little bit, but the more I watched, the more I got into the movie, the more I accepted him as Wolverine, simply for the fact that I could tell that he cared about this character. He tried hard. He said bub and stuff like that. Just little things, just like what Ryan Reynolds did with Deadpool when he got pissed off. Because I got up and left in that one movie with Deadpool. He sucked. So,
Yeah, you could have inserted any other character
yeah.
and substituted Deadpool for him.
Kronos,
Anyway.
if you want more, I got a link for you in chat, buddy. If you're in Texas or you can get Real Ale Brewing, I recommend this. This is better than Fireman's 4.
So, it to me, I can tell, just like what Bruce was saying, that he felt a tension between some of the actors. See, I didn't see it that way. I looked at him as a gruff, rough and tumble guy because I didn't know he had a problem with drugs or drinking or whatever.
Well, he did base his character off of two real life guys. The fisherman that lived in the shack where they were spray painting the boat, and it was like screwing up his stuff. Like that was mostly his personality. But then I think the guy that owned the boat, or was one of the guys that dealt with the boat, he also was kind of gruff and had some cool one-liners that Robert Shaw incorporated into his character to make the personality of Quint.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did really good job to me as portraying a person that I felt Quinn would be. You know what I mean? I think Robert Shaw did a phenomenal job on it, and whether it was because he was an alcoholic or whatever it was that added to his character, it's sad to say that, that he was that good because of that. I hate to say that, but I didn't know about any of that. I just went by.
He had talent. It was just that his alcoholism made him really tough to work with. Like this movie, the amount of problems that they had from beginning to end, like it's amazing nothing got made. Like nowadays, they just like scrap everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The stuff that I dug up that I shared with Bruce and you two before we even started to do the review was how many problems they had, and that Steven Spielberg had nightmares for months after this movie was done.
There was a night where George Lucas gets into the set, and he was in there with Spielberg. They're hanging out, and Lucas puts his head in the shark. He puts his head in Bruce's mouth. This is not a good way to be. And he gets his head stuck for a minute, and they think they break the mechanical shark because they're trying to get their buddy George out of there. George, here in the middle of doing a production for Star Wars, we got to get you out. You still owe me money, and they get him out, and then finally, whenever who is that guy? The special effects guy for this Robert Matty. He's the special effects supervisor for this film. He also was the special effects guy that made Bruce, the 3 rigs of Bruce. He also was in a great movie behind the scenes. He did Mary Poppins, and he also did 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. If you've not seen either of those films, you've lived under a rock, go fix this. It's Sunday. You still have time.
So here's a little. Oh, go for it.
Going back to the Deadpool thing, I got a question for you. Going back to the Deadpool thing.
Yeah.
Did you have you seen the director's cut of Deadpool 2?
Maybe I own it. I own the DVD.
Well, I'm asking because if you go far enough through the credits, eventually you see a couple of scenes of Deadpool going through time, and one of the things he does is kill that ridiculous Deadpool that they made for one.
I know, and I love that. I always sit after the credits and watch everything. So and that's good because he thought that was ridiculous because it was, and I was thankful that he did it. That's why I said it made me even love Ryan Reynolds more because the dedication he had for the character he was portraying on screen. And I love that about, and to me, I feel like I can see that when they act. You know what I mean?
Well, one of my favorite joke from that little set of scenes is not actually that one. It's where he shoots himself in the head because Ryan Reynolds is going for the part of the Green Lantern.
Yeah, that too.
You're welcome, Canada.
I saw
I really like that.
I thought it was hilarious.
I thought this is terrible because you guys bitch about that movie. I
actually did like the Green Lantern movie.
I did like it. I just thought it was funny.
It was entertaining. Is it going to be super memorable? No, but it was entertaining.
Yeah, I did. I thought it was. I've seen way worse. Believe me.
Yeah,
but the fact that he did it to himself, that's what made it so funny. Because he hated it apparently. So that's what made it great.
So I was going to go on this random thing. It was, if you were growing up in the 80s, you remember Nickelodeon, and then there was Nick at Night.
Oh.
And they had a show called Lancelot Link Secret Ship, which ran from like 70 to 71, early 70 to 71. And it was one of those, dress up the chimpanzees as people and film them, and then try and do a show about that. Well, in that same vein, was it TNT? I think, or TBS, one of the cable programs from the 90s. They started doing little advertisements for their movies with chimpanzees, and they had this thing where they were showing Jaws ad nauseum, and they had chimpanzees doing the boat scene where they're in there talking about their stars and stuff. And it was, if you can spoof a movie like this, like it's got to have some memorable qualities to it to warrant
It's like I was saying. everybody-
wrangling freaking chimpanzees.
Do you guys remember that commercial? The what was it? Trunk Monkey, and he comes out and he hits
Yes.
the guy over the head and throws him off the bridge. He's trying to steal the car. I was shocked that they.
There is actually a I laugh those hardcore, and there is actually a bunch. If you look hard enough, you can find a compilation of like 12 Trunk Monkey videos.
Mhm. I was shocked when I remember seeing the very first one. Was that on like Saturday Night Live or something?
I don't know, but I first found it on YouTube.
'Cause I know it
Laughed
wasn't a
my
real.
ass
It was
off.
on. Was it Mad TV? I was trying to remember what it was on because I knew it wasn't a real commercial because I was like, what the hell is this? When I saw it, I was like, what the hell? Because it hits a guy over the head and then drags him and throws him off the bridge and looks around, to see if anybody was watching.
Bruno's Danger Mouse kicks ass. That and Count Duckula.
It was funny. Funny as hell.
I just discovered something on a sprue that could have easily gotten thrown away.
Uh-huh.
It's a miniature that is like 20, I'd say 2 or 3 millimeters tall.
Oh, dear God.
I'm sorry.
That poor lady. I feel sorry for that lady.
Why? What's she doing?
She's breakdancing. she
She has been
Oh,
immortalized for horrible breakdancing
That got the zero?
in hundreds of memes. Yes.
She's a 0 point
I didn't-
breakdancing star out of Canada.
And she was a teacher, supposedly.
She was
taught
a teacher
breakdancing.
for culturally appropriating breakdancing, and then they nominated her because her and her husband are on the council. So she went to the
There's your problem. If she was like us and took cardboard into the boys' bathroom back in grade school, she wouldn't be doing the shit that she did to get a 0. Just saying.
Pretty bad. I'd never heard of anyone ever getting a 0 in the Olympics.
There's never been a performance in the Olympics that has destroyed an event before this. This lady has done so much for so little, and I owe her a beer. Thank you. I was going to say,
How humiliating is that? I mean, that is just, yeah, that's really embarrassing.
That could be devastating.
Oh, I didn't see it, but I'm sure it was bad because to get a 0 is she's in the Guinness Book of World Records for that, right?
I hope so. God, everything else, every other negative incident is in Guinness.
If she can turn it around and like make her life better after this embarrassment, like God bless her.
Her husband will probably leave her ass too, so it's gonna be really bad. So
I don't know. I mean,
mean,
I heard he had to struggle to get her nailed down, so I don't think we're going to have to worry about him leaving.
well, I didn't see what they look like, so I have no idea.
It doesn't matter what they look like. It's always a matter of the fact of how much social cred do you bring to your liberal union. That's it.
So does she have as much social credit as a Haktua girl?
She's not even on the same league. She's in the recreational league. Haktua girls in JV, and Kamala Harris is the original OG Haktua.
Yeah, I know. She's got street cred. So
One of Montel's hoes.
Canadian, my bad.
Terrible.
Trunk Monkeys, Danger Mouse. Wrecking Gamer, do you have any other criticisms of Jaws that you want to share with us? Because like this movie opened up a lot, and you have a right to give it a 5.0 if you're going to blame this movie on the garbage monster movies that infested TNT, Spike TV, and everything else.
Yeah, and see, that's really sad. That's really sad because you got to remember, remember the movie or the book that Stephen King put out, and it was about the creatures that escaped from that laboratory, and The Mist. Remember The Mist?
The Mist, yeah, where the army opened up a portal to somewhere else.
Yeah, and it had the mist came out, and there was all these creatures in it, and it was killing people. Okay,
The movie got it right.
Yeah, the movie was really good.
Yeah, it had a better ending than the book.
Yeah, but the Cujo, that was another one. That was I love the movie more than I liked the book because I didn't want the boy to die. You know,
Well, I
that type
don't
of
like
thing.
Stephen King's writing because I find out that later on some author or some movie writer gets a hold of the script for a movie and it's like, we're not using the book's ending. I've got a better ending. And he does. And that's happened in multiple Stephen King books. The Tommy Knockers ending and the book sucked. The movie was a little better. It wasn't that great. It was better. It had a better ending from 1991 when Tim Curry was the danger clown. And then
Yeah.
I haven't seen Dolores Claiborne, but I bet it's better than the book.
God, that's one of my favorite ones that he's made into a movie. It's very
Kronos, I'm just going to interject real quick. He's the greatest. He's fantastic. Wherever there's danger, he'll be there. He's an ace. He's amazing. He's the strongest. He's the quickest. He's the best. Danger Mouse.
Yeah.
We like over here.
You got to remember, another 20 years, and you're going to have the kids saying that liked what was the name of that Paw Patrol. So there we go.
Oh God,
It all
my
changed.
cousin's kid loves Paw Patrol.
Lots of kids.
I actually got Baby Shark stuck in my head thinking about Jaws. That's messed up.
I went to I helped someone take two little boys to see the guy that wears the orange bow tie. I can't remember who that is again right this second. And they were singing and dancing on stage. It was adorable, though. It was a really adorable show. And I wish they had more stuff like that for kids. But I can't remember what his name is right now.
Okay.
But it's a good kids show. One show that I didn't like when I saw the cartoon on TV was Peppa Pig. Have you guys seen the cartoon?
I try not to. It got spammed on YouTube,
I know,
which is weird because I don't watch cartoons, like little kid cartoons. Every once in a while, I'll look up some 80s stuff or whatever. But
It just kind of looked like a penis. The dad's head and stuff, the way their heads were made and stuff. It was not, I just didn't like it. I could not get past that. So I was like, nobody I know is going to watch this show. It's bad. Even though it may have been a good thing, I just did not like the way they drew it. It's not appropriate.
Here's the Peppa Pig that I know and love.
No, the dad. Show the dad. Oh, yeah.
That's a good amount of fat.
They make it into pizza. Pork pizza. Oh, my God. That's horrible. But
Pig
funny.
in cooked form.
Porcine goodness.
Mm-hmm. That's how she looks now, Peppa Pork. Oh, build a
Anyway,
Peppa. That's hilarious.
I really love bacon because I'm a pig. And
Yeah, I love bacon. I love bacon.
I gotta ask, Janet, next week, are you gonna miss us?
Yes, of course. I'm going to try to stop in when you guys are doing your talking about your movie. So it's going to be fun.
She'll be drunk posting on social media.
If I'm not busy, I might even join your Discord and watch it with you guys.
So that you're invited to come and be part of it.
Yeah.
You're house sitting next week, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. I just have no idea. She was in
Okay.
member. She's in the middle of moving in. to a new place, and she has two beagles. One's old and one's really young. So, I'll have to take them on walks and stuff. So I'll probably take them separately because one's old and goes really slow, and the other one, because I've walked that one before. This new one I haven't. And have you guys ever been around beagles? Have you guys ever been around beagles?
Nope.
A
And listen to them bark?
beagle mix, and they're great dogs.
So,
When beagles see squirrels or rabbits, they are small dogs. They are small, 25-pound or less dogs. But
medium,
then
They will go big shit on the small critters.
they bray like they're 100-pound dogs.
yeah, they sound like they're dying. That's exactly true. Soy Base knows exactly what I'm talking about, and I have to go in another room for a little while because your head.
We call those breeds hound dogs for a reason.
Yeah, but go ahead, Crafty. Or he was going to ask a question.
Yeah.
All right. With if Janet's gone, that means basically half of our power is gone. Are we even going to play next Saturday?
You can play my part for me.
I actually have her character sheet.
Okay.
Yeah, I sent him everything. The thing is that I just didn't want to leave everybody hanging because I can't take but one suitcase because I didn't buy tickets, and they're flying me there because I wanted to drive when I went.
Bruce is going to play Isabelle. He's probably going to have to shave his chest, but we'll work it.
That's okay, but I'm going to try to get this to be like a vacation too. Since I have a free place to stay. So you know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to check out as much stuff because she's in a whole new area I've never been in. So it's going to be kind of fun. And, I'll probably make some shorts and stuff depending on where and what there is there. See, I don't know. I've never been there.
Just beware of Florida, man.
Yeah, I'll be watching what's going on. But I can't take that with me either because I'm flying. That's another thing I don't like. So... we'll see. But she has a car. I won't have to rent one. And she has those passes because everything has those toll things. Sun Pass.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. We'll see. But she's got a pool. So I'll be spending a lot of time out there. Kind of happy about that. But you guys are going to be watching a really funny movie. I know you guys are going to have a ball watching that and talking about it. So that's why I said that would be a good movie for you guys to watch when I'm not here.
Yeah, I just got that
haven't.
Next week. I'm going to see if Baron can get a hold of the copy of it for us.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we're going to have to go on the high seas. But
yeah, isn't Baron the one that? No, it was Connell that told you about it, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just remember seeing the trailer. I was like, holy shit balls. Thank God I won't be around when you guys watch that thing. It does not look good to me. But I hope you guys love it. That's all that matters. If you guys enjoy it.
Hundreds of beavers?
Yeah.
What's not to like?
It just didn't look very good to me. But it might be for you guys. I mean, I don't know.
I think it looks great. It looks like a funny fucking silent film.
Yeah, it looks like something you guys will love, and that's why that's why I told Bruce. I said you guys need to review it. I think you guys will have a ball. It's like guys' night out or something. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I did.
Like you could totally take an old Super Mario Brothers 3 raccoon outfit and just modify it, and it would fit the movie perfectly.
Oh, that's what I was gonna. I'll be right back. I'm gonna show Bruce something. So I'm already working on this other thing I was telling them about.
So next week will be bros discussing a movie. Hundreds of beavers. And in the chat, I put up a link there. That link is for my friend Baron G. Rock. He's going through some issues right now. He's trying to help his wife out. He's losing his house. He's getting divorced. He's still trying to help her. He still loves her. They're still friends. But it's more complicated than that. It's to help with medical. It's to help with everything. If you guys have $1 or $2, go ahead and throw money at it. I've known the guy for over.
Does he have a GoFundMe or anything set
I
up?
have it right there.
Good.
Right there, Janet.
Okay.
So, he's been an honest person with me all of his life. Is he perfect? No, he's a better guy than I. He's gonna tell you where he's going on things from the outset. He telegraphs. He does all of his movements are not secretive. Not a single one. He's upfront. So I appreciate him for a lot of things. He's helped me with my channel.
He's a solid dude.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And I wish things were better for him and my Peoria people. They could actually get together and continue the table breakers after I'm gone. But apparently that, because I was the motivating force, I didn't realize I was a linchpin for that. When I went away, the pieces fell. I'm sorry. But I want him to make it. I want his wife to make it. I want them to continue being healthy, continue being good towards each other and the world around them. That's what I want. But if you've got a few extra bucks, that's great. Thank you. He's a solid guy, like Six Nation said. And
Can you put the link in the chat? Because even if somebody can't donate, they can share it. Share the link so someone else they know might be able to donate.
Right there. I just put it back in the chat again.
Appreciate it.
So, anyway, next week we're watching hundreds of beavers, and it's
Okay, go with that.
it's bros watching or bros discussing.
Not to be confused with Snatch, which is also not to be confused with those type of films. Has nothing to do with female genitalia.
I was lied to. I thought there would be genitalia. Good movie. Love Snatch.
Who doesn't?
But I shared a couple pictures with Bruce about a costume I was going to try to make. But look, what do you think? It's going to look pretty good, isn't it? You know, the one I sent you pictures of?
Oh my.
Yeah.
It's for a Warhammer costume I'm making. Yeah, and then I got these. I'm going to make my sleeves, you know, my little sleeves and stuff. It's going to be really fun.
So are you doing the Sisters of Battle one?
I don't know which one it is. I sent a picture that I found that I thought was pretty nice. That I thought, well, I think I could pull this off.
Can you share that, Janet?
Yeah, you can share it. Do you still have it?
Yeah,
Can I send it to you?
I don't get rid of things you give me.
Anything, Warhammer 40K or Vallejo?
It's because we're going to be
Rosetta.
doing. There's a game coming out, like in September. So I was looking for stuff to fix up my costume, and then I got stuff to do my
just
hair.
Janet, you're aiming right now more for a Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which is medieval.
Yeah, because there's going to be a bunch of different people on a podcast, and they're going to be all wearing different costumes because they all go to different things.
Early Warhammer.
But the other one too. Do you still have the other one too?
Let me see.
Because that's the one I'm trying to base my costume on. That's how I'm going to do my makeup. There it is. I'm going to do my makeup and hair kind of like the other girls because I wanted something I could use on multiple costumes for different types of things.
Okay, so just so you know, Janet,
yeah.
Just so you don't get chewed out by somebody, it would be more Age of Sigmar and not 40K. Still Warhammer, but Age of Sigmar is medieval.
Well, I went through a whole load of costumes that were on a couple Pinterest and a whole bunch of other websites. Yeah. And I was trying to pick something I could make that I could also use parts of the costume on other costumes.
Well, I was about to say, if you were
first tile,
if you have that fur thing you had up, and then you take the miniature I showed you and make some more metallic power armor looking thing.
See, that's what I'm going to try to do.
You could do a Sister of Battle with a Space Wolves theme to it.
Well, after I start working on it, 'cause I'm gonna start working on it when I come back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna work on it a little bit in the next couple days, but I don't really have that much time before I have to leave. And I've got a one of those things you put clothes on while you're working on it, behind
yeah,
me,
yeah.
and I'll be pinning it up. I'm not going to sew it. I'll pin it all up, and then I'll take pictures and I'll send them to you if you don't mind, and you can help me because Bruce was the only one.
Sure.
I asked him, "Do you play Warhammer?" Because I don't play it. It's just that since I do play other games, they thought, "Hey, would you want to dress up and be on the show?" And I was like, "I'll have to fix the costume." So. It's going to be fun though. And, I love making costumes and stuff. So, but see, I can use the different parts of that with other things. And plus I'm going to have a skirt. This girl didn't have a skirt on, but I got a skirt to wear too.
Yeah, Janet, you and those boy shorts. I got some messages already. People like the boy shorts on you.
Oh, the ones I'm wearing?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you see the butt?
I
Did
did.
they see the rear end? Yeah,
When
you saw it because I showed
when
you.
you spun around, yes.
You see what it says? Can you see it? Because I can't see the camera.
Guard.
See?
Hold on. Hold on.
This is why I bought this outfit. I showed it to you. I said, hey, it's got everything. It's got a hat and a pouch, and I got a deal on it. See?
That looks.
Baywatch theme playing in my head now.
I said, hey, if we do Jaws, I could be a lifeguard. So,
Go
yeah.
in the deep water and wait for Janet to come rescue me.
I wish I could have found one of those, whatever those things are. But the lifeguard didn't do much in this movie, did he? Except for blow his whistle. That's all he did.
Hell yes, good. Hell yes, Kronos. God bless you. God bless us, everyone.
Well, it's mine.
So it'll suck that you won't be around for next week's movie, but we'll
I'm
make
sorry.
do.
But I'm gonna be helping someone, and hopefully putting my feelers out for some other stuff with my pictures and stuff. So we'll see.
Only feats.
This is a hot take. And I don't know. I'm confused. I actually agree with Kronos on this 110%.
Baywatch?
I'll go with Baywatch viewing over Jaws because you could look at it like the whole Jaws series versus all of Baywatch, and you have one good movie, one okay movie, and two really bad movies.
Yeah, see, I didn't see the last two, so.
And then you have all the seasons of Baywatch, which is a screensaver of people running on the beach, including the Hoff. Don't you like the Hoff?
I just pictured David Hasselhoff trying to eat a hamburger while drunk.
Yeah, that was really mean of his
That
daughter.
pop in my head.
Every time I think of him now, I think of him on SpongeBob SquarePants. Them riding the Hoff. Because they're riding on his back when he's swimming them to shore. You didn't see that?
I remember that.
Okay.
I remember that too, and he's got robotic pecs.
I don't know. I don't remember every detail of it, but it was just funny as shit, and get to laugh and stuff like that.
It is funny as shit. I don't want to think about that anymore. That's David Hasselhoff. Oh man.
Yeah, the Hasselhoff. That's what they called him.
The Hasselhoff.
Knight Rider.
Yeah, Knight Rider. But see, I had this prop too, but I didn't use it. My first aid kit.
Fine. We're done with the priming of the fungoids. Les mushrooms.
Wait a minute. Are we going to be doing something with shrooms?
Oh. You guys are in for a treat. You've got a little bit of work that you're doing in Bard's Gate with some noble family. And then afterwards, you'll be voluntold you probably want to go to Donaman. Donaman is a amazing place, has a lot of adventure for you. But I really think that you're going to like what I'm doing with you in Bard's Gate first. And then after that, you'll be like, okay, that kind of makes sense. I get it. And hopefully you guys enjoy yourselves.
Hopefully,
Correct.
I don't die while I'm gone. I'd hate that to happen.
That would happen. That would suck.
Yeah. So,
I would hate for you
bad
not.
We'll
enough
try
to die
not
when you're
to make that happen. I can't say that I won't die. I've come
Anna?
pretty close.
You're gone next week or next game for the high level game too, right? 2 weeks you're
I'm flying out. Let's see. I'm going to get my calendar here.
flying out
Flying
Wednesday.
out on the 22nd, early in the morning. I got to drive a little over 2.5 hours just to get to the airport. So, and then I'm going to be gone for the 24th, the 31st.
Okay,
And then I'm
so
going to miss
we're not going to see you for two
the
sessions.
25th. I'm going to miss our movie, and then I'm going to miss it on the what's after that on the
You're going to miss the first as well.
the first. So,
Okay.
sorry.
Well, I guess.
Whatever.
But see, I was planning on driving when they first talked about it, and then later no, we already got tickets. I went, oh, okay, because I hate flying. And if they say
I haven't been on a plane since '93, so
if they do that,
I haven't been molested by TSA or
I won't be happy.
anything.
I won't be happy at all if they try to make me wear a mask or something.
Pray to God you're not on a Boeing.
Yeah, I know it's gonna suck. It's Southwest. I don't know what planes they use.
Knight Rider, Airwolf, even Street. What was the Street? What was the
Street
motorcycle?
Hawk.
Street Hawk.
That was Street Hawk.
And then you had Manimal.
I don't know what you're
Yes.
talking about. Manimal was a TV
80s.
show.
Yeah, it was a TV.
80s sci-fi goodness, maybe.
It was
Right.
like
My memory gets fuzzy.
Canon Films quality, including Canon Films budget quality.
Mhm.
It was bad, and it was still better.
Street
than
Hawk was cool because he had a laser and rockets and the super speed. Kit was the artificial intelligence and the whole armored. It was basically like Spy Hunter, but with AI.
Mhm.
Airwolf. That was cool because it was an attack chopper that didn't look like an attack chopper.
And then you had Blue Thunder for a season, which had Bubba and Dick Butkus as footballers.
Whose babies are that? Is that?
That was Sadie. She had to go pee. And she was very vocal about getting the door open in time.
It's like, don't make me pee on myself.
But-
Oh, I might be having baby chicks because I think I heard some clucks this morning or little teeps. So I'll let you
Oh,
know.
awesome.
later. I know. I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, our
And Manimal and Automan were one season wonders on 80s.
Automan kind of looked cool,
Okay,
but it
I
was a
found
lame
it.
show.
This is what I was looking for. I'm putting these rivets in this because I'm making me a. See, my costume is going to be different than the one exactly in the picture. I'm just using as a reference. But see, I got to lace it up and hold all my stuff up. See, it's going to be pretty. See, it's going to have it's like a corset, but it's not.
Looking forward to this.
I'm excited about it. Because that's for a friend of mine that's trying to start his own like multimedia thing. Remember I told you about that a little?
Yep.
So if I can make myself look halfway decent and know a little bit about gaming when I go in there, because I already told him I'm going to play Goat Simulator and a few others. So we'll see.
I'm getting a friend to pull me access for that Hundreds of Beavers right now.
Hmm.
So I'll have access to it here probably before the day is over,
Okay.
whenever you want to watch it. If you
Well, I
want.
might be able to watch it with you guys. That's what I'm hoping.
I'm hoping that you'll be able
That'd
to
be
be
cool.
a panelist between the Beagle.
If I watch it, if I do get to watch it, I will definitely want to join you. But if I didn't watch it, I don't want to comment on a movie I didn't see. All I saw was the trailer.
All right. Fair
It's
enough.
just not right to to say this movie sucks if I hadn't seen it. Now, if you want to do that Willie's movie, I'll tell you it sucks, and I'll give it a 0.
That's
I'm
an
not
awesome
going to
movie.
watch that movie.
I think it's
Yeah.
Willie something. I keep forgetting the name of it because it's so forgettable. It's horrible.
Willy's Wonderland?
Well, yeah, the one that's like Five Nights at Freddy, but felt terrible and bad. That one.
It's supposed to be a bad movie. If you go in there
Oh, it's
thinking
bad.
it's a bad movie, then
Achieved its goal.
it's awesome. You're
I
like,
didn't even
okay,
watch-
he's just
I
like,
didn't even watch it for 15
I want to play
minutes.
this character, and I want to do this, and I don't want to do that, and
It was terrible.
it's no Hamlet.
Things I've ever seen.
I mean, Mandy was a better movie, honestly. Like, if you wanted to watch it as a movie and enjoy it. It was trippy as hell, but
you guys are going to
Better
love
movie.
it. I know that I could tell in Bruce's voice that he's going to enjoy that movie tremendously. And you guys are going to laugh a lot, and you guys are going to love doing the review on it. I just know it. So it's
if you're into, like, MST3K or just, like, purposely bad cinema, this is going to be right up your alley, I think, from what I've seen.
Mhm. We'll see. We'll see. But you got to come up with a cool name for the show. It can't be a girl and a guy because there's not going to be a girl. So it's
Oh, no,
going to
no,
be
no.
like 3
It's
guys
Rose discussing a movie.
and a dud.
Rose
Something like
discussing a
that.
movie.
It'd be funny. as
Yeah,
shit.
Guys on Film has been taken, and I'm not going to be doing 2 snaps and a twirl or anything like that, so.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
That's already
Rose
been done.
discussing a movie because I will throw out the option to my tabletop groups if they want to discuss this movie with it when they watch it with us. If they want to be on panel, they can.
Yeah.
And if anybody
Just
wants to
remember,
watch this movie with us,
make sure you know who you bring up because you don't
Classic
want
best.
it on their desk or something like that.
yeah, I don't want to
No,
have them like
yeah.
flop their dick out on camera. I get it.
Yeah, 3 old men and the kid. That's adorable. That's good. That's a good one. I don't know. You should let the chat, send you stuff. Invite them to send you names. To
No. Oh, democracy bad. Mob rule. Some weird shit will pop up.
Kronos asks, "Can I?"
Yeah,
make
you
jokes
can.
about
You
Janet
can make
giving us
jokes. You can make jokes about me giving you
CPR?
CPR.
Yeah, Janet. I'm sorry. I see her in a lifeguard hoodie, and I'm like, oh, I could see her. I have bad thoughts about Janet. Just putting that hair up in a bun. Let me help you get your lungs inflated. I'll be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I had it pulled up, but it was hurting the back of my head because I had it pulled up with a little clippy. And I was like, because I was trying to pull up. But
Now, Kronos, I'm going to tell you this from the bottom of my heart. Beetlejuice 1 is a 2.5 out of 5 star movie for me. I give that an absolute 50 because I expected more. It's not a great film. It's not a bad film. But if Beetlejuice 2, what?
the first Beetlejuice?
I give it a 50. I
I
don't
thought it
like
was way better than that.
Tim Burton like everybody else. I'm not a
I
Tim Burton.
saw the cartoon more than I saw the actual movie. I think I saw the movie twice. One was in '88, and the other one was in like '89, maybe, on video. And my brother was into the cartoon, and so I got stuck watching it.
I mean, it wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't a 50.
There's
Tim
a
Burton's
lot-
like hit or miss on some movies.
You wanted to do a critical show about movies with me, Janet.
I know.
Remember that. Just remember
I know.
that. Okay?
And
And-
hey,
and-
I've been critical of some of the movies you had me watch, so
I
it's
know.
okay. I'm not going to get mad.
I remember your 40% review of Midnight Meat Train. I get
I
it.
know it was horrible. Except I loved the scene with the girl in it fighting on the train.
Yeah.
She kicked ass. That was a wonderful scene. And the other movie about the men. Sorry, I knocked my lid off my box under my desk. I'm trying to fix it. The one with what was his name? John Belushi Remember Real Men or something?
Oh,
I
you're
didn't-
talking about Jim Belushi. Real
Yeah,
Man.
Jim Belushi. Remember, I didn't give that one a very good, and I didn't do Cowboy Way very good, and I picked that one because I was excited about seeing the movie. I remember seeing when I was young, and then I saw it again. And I was like, "This movie sucks." So yeah, I try to be fair and even, and I always give a reason why I'm voting the way I do. I'm not gonna get mad at you for it. How long have we been doing this?
Over 2 years, sweetie.
Okay, so we've never got an argument over it. I think you should vote it exactly the way you think it should get the score, because we don't want to be exactly the same every time. That's kind of boring.
You could
But I
always
wish-
super chat the
Did we?
the
Yeah, we
rating.
did my movie. We did my movie. And I loved it.
Which
You
movie?
know, The Great Raid.
Oh, the Great Movie. Yeah, The Great Raid was a good movie.
I loved it. I still love it. But
When
I
I-
just remember the first time I saw it and how I felt when I watched it. See, that just like we talked about when we did the Cowboy Way. The first time I saw the Cowboy Way, I thought it was great. I was just so excited when I watched it, and I thought it was really funny. The whole thing with the calf, the baby calf, getting the guy to tell them what they wanted. It's just things about it was just really funny. But when we watched it this time, I was like, oh, it wasn't what I expected. It was really stupid and lame. Had really bad script. I mean, it was just, because I wasn't looking at it that way. But now that we're doing this, I'm looking at all movies way differently. Sometimes
Well-
that's not a good thing. You know what
Well,
I
I've
mean?
got to say that I loved The Cowboy Way when I saw it in theaters. I thought it was the answer to a lot of problems that I had.
Yeah.
When I was 19 years old, I thought it was great.
Mhm.
But when I'm 47 or 48, when we watched it again,
Mhm.
I was having a hard time because he just ran his truck through a fucking brick wall into a bar, and the cop, played by my hero Ernie Hudson, who has shaken my hand before. And
Yeah.
that's something I don't get a lot of photographs or autographs. I just want these people to understand, like, I appreciate what you do. I don't want a photograph or autograph of you. Unless we're doing like a big fucking group photo, then yeah, we'll have you center of 6 or center of 8. But I don't need a photograph of somebody just to remind me how cool I am because I shook this guy's hand or I had this guy's autograph. Fuck that. That's faggot.
Yeah.
That's for fags. And I know some people out there are like, oh my God, you're going to ruin my fucking baseball card collection because I've got all these autographed baseball cards. Well, that's great for you. I don't need that. What I want is just the memory, which will eventually fade and crumble to dust when I die, of the fact that Ernie Hudson shook my hand and he was cool. He was a decent guy. But he played a cop in this movie, and he let fucking Woody Harrelson jam a truck into a club and commit B&E on a larceny set on a felony basis to where larceny would be easily able to happen.
Mhm.
That movie fucking bakes my goddamn brain. I can't believe that movie got made. I just can't. The more I think about
See,
it,
time does change your vision, the way you look at things. It does. It just it's so funny because I'm hearing more and more young men that are like in their 40s now, I guess. It's around that range, say in spaces, making comments like, man, I sound like my dad, stuff like that. It's so funny because it happens to everybody. It happens to all
Ernie
of us.
Hudson was great in Ghostbusters, and what was it? The Substitute. I liked him in that.
The Substitute with what's his name?
From
He looks like
Sniper.
Bill Maher. He looks like Bill Maher's replacement.
Tom Berenger.
Yes.
There went my microphone. Get back in my ear.
So
There we go.
anyway, you guys, if you guys like us, and there's thousands that don't, and that's okay. But for our crew that likes us, next week it's me and Six Nations and whoever else wants to discuss this Hundreds of Beavers movie.
Mhm.
That includes
Yeah,
photos.
make
That includes
sure-
photos
you need, what I would do if I were you is I would make a post and put it on your channel, because I always invite everybody, to come and watch the movie with us. And sometimes people do and sometimes they don't, but we can't get everybody to join us, but I wish some more people would. I think they'd have a good time. Six Nations showed up and he keeps coming back, so he must have liked it a lot. But John,
What can I say? I'm a closet masochist when it comes to cinema.
This character right here, this guy, he doesn't make videos on a frequent basis, okay? Because, well, you start thinking of things like I need to perfect it or I need to do whatever. But he's building his own RPG, and I'm not trying to make his head swell. I'm not trying to make him fucking hesitate and release it, but hesitate during, instead of release. But crafting, you're doing fucking excellent, dude.
Thank you.
You're doing excellent.
Yeah, I think so.
Your work is good. Your prose is good. Keep going. Don't stop. Because
don't stop believing.
Yeah, you've got the ability, and you should understand what you bring to the table. Your game sounds really cool. Secondly, your ideas could be great for a table for years. And even if that's just one table, we have to take in consideration too many games nowadays are now not going over 7 sessions. They stop at 6. At 6.
What does that mean? I hate to ask that, but I don't
No,
understand.
you're perfectly fine. Okay, most
After
games
6 weeks, it's pretty much over.
sessions of games.
Oh, after 6
they
games?
wrap up. After 6 games together, they quit and they get new players, or they have a new storyline, or they have something else. But they realize they didn't like that. Let's try it again. And they bang their head against the wall, not realizing what they're doing wrong. Jackie Blue, if you join for Hundreds of Beavers, you're invited. I know you're not here.
God. She might. I don't know. But good luck.
The door's open. She has our Discord. She knows that I'm willing to allow her wherever she wants to be because her mommy is Janet. And I'm willing, be thankful Bruce doesn't have the lottery for this week, because there would be some changes.
Mm-hmm. Like what?
Well, we're buying Gamertopia first off. We're going to see how much it's going to cost us to will it be cheaper to settle in Tennessee or Texas or South Dakota? I'm thinking South Dakota.
South Dakota, though, it's really, really cold. A lot of people can't handle.
I'm not leaving. Janet, we have delivery food we can do now. I don't have to go out. My wife doesn't have to go out. We have the lottery. We can pay people to come and drop off groceries. If I need to do that for the whole compound.
Well, I was just going to say, because people live in Canada, okay, and people live in Alaska.
Only the poor people have to worry about food.
And then they have animals, and they have chickens, and they have all the same stuff that we have in the South up there. So I'm just saying, it just takes some adjusting.
We will find a suitable valley in one of those 3 locations and have wine and have coffee beans, and we will have cattle, and we will have a commune of about 15 to 20 of our little manufactured homes with some brickwork on the northern facing portions of it, because I don't want to deal with the north from the north wind. I don't want to deal with that. And we will find a way to survive. We will be on the grid for electricity, but we will have well water, because there's no need for us to try to get anything else. We will find it. It'll happen. If I have the lottery, that's what'll happen. Now, like I said, 15-20. And we will continue.
As long as it's a state with constitutional carry, I am totally down.
Yeah, that's why I said South Dakota, Tennessee. Well, I'll add Missouri and Texas. Texas is.
If I win the millions of dollars that I'm hoping for, I'm gonna have my commune And then down below, I'm going to have a freaking armory that's going to rival not only the Tower of London, but most gun shops in the U.S.
If I
And I'm going
won
to
the
nerd shit out.
I would
And
open
remember,
my own
every
shop.
time you swim in the ocean, you're swimming in fish semen. Until we meet again.
The shop that you see on Big Bang Theory, you know, the one where they go and they hang out. I would want something like that, but I would also have tables for people to play games. And I would have another section for people to build Legos. You know,
That's why we buy one of those like broken down towns that people left for some reason and the buildings are still there. We just renovate, designate one as the local gaming store,
Mhm.
fire up the bowling alley, whatever.
I just remember when I was living in, I think it was in Spokane or outside of Spokane, Washington, is there was a base there. It was near Fairchild, I guess, Air Force Base. I think that's the name of it.
Fairchild Air
was a
Force Base,
shop.
yes.
There was a shop there that I remember getting to go in a couple times. My mother wouldn't take me, but I remember getting to go in, and there was tables, just regular tables, people sitting around playing different games. And there was comic books, they had posters. You could buy different little figurines. You know, it had all kinds of stuff in it for people that were into comic books and collectibles and things. And that I've ever since that. And then they also had the little model planes, and they had the trains, you know, because trains were really big. They had all the trees and the little people, I mean, and the lights that you could put in the little buildings. Oh, it was just awesome. And we did that movie. What was that movie? The one that they had the little tiny town in it. Was it trying to remember the name of it, but it had the little city and they had the little tubes that people got in.
Logan's
And
Run.
yeah, Logan's Run. I saw that. I said, oh my God, if I could have stuff like that and build it, that would be great. So if I had money, I would build something like that so people have somewhere to go to play with the stuff they buy. You know what I mean? Because not everybody has room in their homes because they're in an apartment or whatever. But if once a week they could go down and play with their Legos and their whatever, you know, and pay like once a month, you know, for like a membership where you don't have to worry about other people coming in there and harassing you in the gaming area out, you know, away from the comic books and stuff. I just think it would be really cool.
Come one, come all, but make sure you bathe first. Never thought that would be a thing.
To have that. People need a place like that, I think. Now, where I'm at right now, I wouldn't put it here. I would want to build it
For
somewhere.
social creatures, we need a place to hang out, shoot the shit,
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
plunk some quarters into the uprights or pinball machines.
Yeah. I would make a really cool place.
Don't even start on that sort of thing because I would go nuts with pinball. You don't quite stand.
Oh, you would have loved one of my old coworkers. They were restoring pinball machines. Dozens
If
of
you
them.
have time and money, it's okay, but you need time to be able to put the money into it to restore them.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was definitely a work in progress. This was like early 2000 when I discovered that they were doing it, and they've been doing it for 15 years earlier.
And
But now that Midway has stopped doing that stuff.
If you could make meth gators, you gotta be kidding me.
Jones will be making an appearance, a celebrity voice impersonated, on Shadow and Son's channel here. I'm just waiting on a package to get
Yes,
over here.
I
So I can
remember.
And, you know, if you flush drugs down the toilet, you could be creating meth gators. Police in Tennessee say, Florida man responds, challenge accepted. And there's Chad himself.
Yeah, I was trying to answer for some reason I cannot get on my phone so I can reply on my timeline to tell Jeremy, yeah, I remember when I thought he lived there because when we did that movie, because he asked to do that movie. I thought he lived there.
Moonlight in the Escanaba, amazing film.
Mhm.
Okay,
That was a lot of fun.
if you know my Discord, if you're in my Discord and I put a link for it up there in the chat, go ahead and grab it. We're going to be watching some stuff tonight on Discord here in a bit from some creators on other than YouTube locations. So
Mhm.
there might be some language that some of you don't understand or like or quite catch the concept of. If you're pro Second Amendment, swing on by. My name is Bruce, and next week I expect Six Nation 31 Kings and possibly others from my gaming groups to join us for a special review of the new movie Hundreds of Beavers, which I believe you would enjoy.
It's a gaggle of women. I was kidding.
If we can get a gaggle of women to come into it, I will change the title of the stream from Bros Discussing Movies to Familia Discussing Movies.
Well, I was just saying, instead of being called Hundreds of Beavers, it was a gaggle of women. That's what I was seeing.
It's not just women, but this movie looks like it's great. Yes, it's beavers, hundreds of beavers. Do you want to know, Kronos? I'm not going to monetize this stream, so let me just show you.
All those damn beavers.
This might be taken off YouTube.
Maybe Kronos might want to join you guys in Discord and watch it.
That would be
I
awesome.
Yeah, I would love it if you showed up.
Crafty, Kronos, anybody.
We're gonna.
I mean, I thought the trailer was hilarious, but I can tell you right now, it's just not a movie that I don't think I would enjoy it as much as you guys would.
Don't knock it till you try.
You guys are gonna have fun.
Janet loves independent movies, so this is right up her alley.
Busy little guys.
Yeah, busy beavers. You guys are valley.
Looking forward to this.
See, you can hear. You can have fun. He's gonna have a blast.
I'm so
our
looking
mess now.
forward to this movie.
That just screams quality.
That just screams it's going to be good, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah, thank God there's no fucking squirrels. It is live action Looney Tunes. Yeah, this is going to be the.
I think the best part is the
2024.
fact they decided to use cheap effects.
I'm so looking
Sorry.
forward. I can't wait.
It's gonna be great. You guys are gonna laugh your butts off. I just know it.
So come by and join us next week. Janet will be gone for the next 2 weeks, although she will want to be here. I know her. She wants to be here. We will miss you.
Yeah, I
Janet.
will be dropping in and stuff. I'm not gonna be complete. It's just I don't know what the internet situation is or any of that yet.
I'll see how artificially pumped the numbers are. We need more TNA. How are we going to do this? Where's Connell?
We need.
Yeah.
This
Should have been your warning right there. Since it was Connell's suggestion, I'm like, okay, you guys, go for it.
I'm looking forward to it because it looks funny as hell.
Yeah, it does look funny. I know you guys are gonna laugh a lot.
Janet, have you ever seen the game Cupman or Cuphead? Okay.
It's got that old timey, I wouldn't say Looney Tunes, it's more like Tex Avery type animation.
This is
Nope.
more 1920s animation.
Yeah, that looked like silent film. You know what I mean?
Steamboat Willie type stuff.
Had that look like it was a silent movie.
Well, it really hit. There's a nerve that I really enjoyed. Let me see if I can share this. Share screen, entire screen. Also share audio. Thank you. All right.
Oh my goodness. Oh, is you gonna show him the things we watched yesterday?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is a game that you can play.
It's like SpongeBob SquarePants.
Holy crap, that was like super condensed. I can feel
Yeah.
my brain expanding.
That's
Whoa. That's a lot to process.
here's the actual full game trailer. But this is I'm looking forward to playing this. It's a stupid game, but I love stupid games like that.
Yeah, that looks like it's in the 1920s. It's called Cuphead.
Cuphead.
No, I'd never seen it.
This is about I don't know how old it is. It's not new. I'll just say that. And it came out in 2017. Everybody I know has played it, loved it, but it's a very difficult game, and I'm looking forward to trying it. So, see what happens. Next week we'll be doing some fun stuff with Hundreds of Beavers. I don't know what movie we're going to watch the second week that you're gone. I have not planned it yet.
How about
Yeah. You have something.
the
picked?
Lost Skeleton of Cadabra?
Which one?
If that hasn't been the Lost Skeleton of Cadabra.
The Lost Skeleton.
I had mentioned it, and I don't know if it was considered.
I don't remember that one.
It came out in 2001. Well, it was made in 2001. Came out in like 2004, and it's a spoof on B movies and 50s sci-fi.
Well, I'm still waiting on that documentary.
The documentary's coming up, Janet.
When? Still waiting on that. I'm excited about that one. You
The
know, about
mo-
all the best,
the-
what was it, best 90s movies or something?
Best 80s sci-fi.
Okay,
And
yeah,
you're
that
talking
one.
about In Search of Tomorrow.
In Search of Tomorrow. Yes, that's
Search
it.
of Tomorrow Part 1 is in 2022. In Search of Tomorrow Part 2 is in September 8th and September 15th. September
Okay.
8th, September 15th. So when
Yeah.
you come back,
I'm gonna write them on my.
when you come back,
Uh-huh.
when you come back, we're going to be watching those films, those documentaries. So you're going to be plastered. You're going to get something comfy to drink.
Yeah.
And we're going to discuss what they go over because they discuss from 1980 to 89 or 1980 to 89, and they do a good job of showing you the movies that made that decade. There's other movies that are in the same or other documentaries in the same series called In Search of a Hero and In Search of Horror.
So
But-
the 8th and the
8th and the 15th.
15th. Okay. I'll put an arrow across there. Okay, I have it written on my calendar.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know. Ever since I
Sounds like
saw
it'd be
the
fun.
preview for that, I was like, oh my gosh, the interviews in that is going to be freaking awesome.
I mean, it's the 80s. We were at the pinnacle, the golden age of
It was
cinema
you know,
goodness.
it opened the doors for the best entertainment, at least in my point of view.
And
It's amazing what a couple of tons of Coke can do.
the biggest problem that I have is that in the early 2000s or late 90s, I knew computer gaming would never get past that. You might get better looking graphics or the sound might be a little better, but there's nothing that's going to top what we had in the early 2000s, because in the late 90s, early 2000s, that was when the 3D accelerators came out, and very few games get compared to the classics of those eras. And in fact, the games that compared to those eras, the games of Unreal, the games of Quake, the only thing that gets compared to that is Doom 2016 or Doom Eternal. Nobody talks about Call of Duty except for its bullshit multiplayer, which you buy the next version for $70 the next year because it has a 24 or 25 on the end of it. It's just a garbage game. Modern Warfare, what number is this? Well, it's the same game as last time, but in 6 months they'll add a zombies mod and we all get to play it with zombies. There's very little innovation nowadays in games. So that's just my big rant, and we'll go into that.
And they're even cracking down on modders who are making better content than the creators themselves. It's crazy.
That is a sad, sad reality. All right, so I did find your lost skeleton of a Kadabra, so I think we'll put that on the list. You want to do that September 1st?
Sounds good.
All right. So let it be sitting. So let it be written. So let it be done. Everyone, have a great week. Janet will return in 3 weeks from now. Hopefully she'll see us next week, but she will be in Freedom Land. So if you're there at an ice cream shop in Florida and you see an attractive woman with auburn colored hair and a bikini on walking a beagle.
Yeah, not in a bikini. I won't be walking a dog. I'll be wearing shorts and a shirt.
I'm sorry, Janet. In my head, you're
and comfortable shoes,
show
Oh,
the shoes
my
off.
feet. Oh, I don't have high heels on. I just have tennis shoes.
Just make sure you're not near any of the retirement homes.
Retirement homes?
How close are you to the villages?
I don't know. This is a new area.
Those poor guys are going to have heart attacks.
She used
And
to
if you're
live
dressed up in your lifeguard outfit, you might send the wrong signals.
because I've never been here before, so she's moved. So we'll see.
I'm just looking forward to see how this works out. I'm genuinely interested. She'll be just there walking along all innocently, and some 70-year-old computer chip mogul sees her with a dog. Here, you want to come over and have some sweet tea?
I don't know. We'll see. But
Shows you off his InfoWars hoodie collection, and Janet's like, "Oh, InfoWars, I could get comfortable here." Yeah, I could see that.
yeah, she's always saying, "You need to move here."
She's got legs. Yes, she does. She showed us Tush today. All of you that are in thirst of Tush.
I forgot to turn off my camera because sometimes I do that. But see, I don't worry about it when it's just all of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just don't normally do that when we're alive.
It's okay.
That reminds me of a funny story about my first experience with Doom. When it was released, we went over to a friend's house, and he was the cool guy because he was living on his own with his roommate and had his 12-inch speakers hooked up to his PC, and we could hear the gunshots through the front door as we're knocking on the front door. I'm like, damn, what is that? That sounds amazing. And we saw the game, and it was
Nobody called the
awesome.
police on him, thinking that someone was shooting.
No, thankfully, like he was in a decent neighborhood. Well, I shouldn't say decent neighborhood. It was the Beach Flats, but gunshots were common. Anyhow, it was kind of awkward because he went to go use the bathroom, and we're taking turns playing the shareware version of Doom.
Mhm.
And I got on, and I'm getting into the game, and my friend's like, "Holy crap, who's that?" And I look, and all I can see is a ponytail, a hoodie, some short cutoffs, Daisy Dukes,
Mhm.
and the cleanest looking legs that I've ever seen. And I'm like, that's weird. I didn't know he had a girlfriend. I was living with a roommate. And I was like, maybe it's his roommate. I'm gonna go see who this chick is. And he was like, excuse me, can I trouble you for a glass of water? And when they turned, it was his male housemate who had like shaved his legs for a swim meet, and he hadn't gotten his hair cut or his beard shaved. And it was like, dude looks like a lady moment.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend nearly had a heart attack, and I was cracking up laughing. I nearly died. And then my other buddy
Get
comes out of the
dressed up.
bathroom and is like, "Oh yeah, that's my housemate
I could
Nate."
go to one of those clubs and dress up like over dramatic makeup and stuff, and just say, "Hi, my name's Sky." You probably get a lot of drinks for me and stuff. You know, hey, it would work. I bet. Call me, ma'am.
Well, there's other stories too. 2:30, 3 a.m. at Denny's, and a little early morning tryst out in the parking lot, and mixed signals.
Mm.
Friend's totally shit-faced and didn't realize it. Meanwhile, we're trying to give him hints without saying, and he insists on going out there. I was like, all right, you'll be back in about 20 minutes and totally scarred for life.
Well, if it took 20 minutes and he found out too late.
Yeah, he was nice and sloppy drunk, so I'm sure that they were out there talking, and then when the business transaction was going to happen,
Mhm. Take the credit card. No, there you go.
Yeah.
Give it to him.
if you're like Eddie Murphy and you preferred your ladies of the night a certain musk, yeah.
I guess that went over my head because I don't know what that means. Sorry.
He ran into a tranny. And he was trying to hit her up, and she was trying to make a buck.
Well, she must have
Or
looked
he.
pretty good. Or
No, if you were sober, you'd know right off the bat. But
means? Is that what they them means?
No idea.
See, that's what I said.
I don't know. I don't speak socialist.
I don't
Well,
either.
that's what they're trying to do make they them from a multiple pronoun to a single pronoun.
Oh, I did want to ask Bruce a question. Are you going to watch any of the convention this week?
You know,
See if there's like bombs going off and stuff.
there's bricks being put into position.
I know. I saw that. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the hell's going on there. That looks really weird. They've got some stuff going on in Chicago. I'm happy I don't live in a.
They've got over 56,000 Antifa. Like half of that is imported from Europe, and those guys you have to worry about. Our domestic Antifa, they suck.
Yeah,
These
but I
guys
saw
will like literally firebomb your house and whatnot. So it will be interesting.
something. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm expecting some fireworks. We'll see.
Yeah,
Starting tomorrow.
not going to be good. And I hate.
My advice is if you're in the Chicago area, stay strapped.
Yeah, because I asked Connell about that. I said, "You're not right there near there, are you?" He said, "No, he was 4 hours away." And I was like, "Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's.
I feel better for you," because I was like really thinking about it. I'm like, I hope I don't know anyone that lives there.
I'll be right back.
Very dangerous.
There's probably going to be some fires.
I don't know what it's going to happen, but I think it's going to definitely be something.
None of it good.
Mm-mm. But thanks, guys. This movie was fun. I'm glad we watched it. I missed watching it. It was really good. It was.
I enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed it. So it's good to see movies with people and get different opinions and reminisce. And then Crafty coming on and giving a 50%. I mean, there's a reason why. Epic. Because like, how
Honestly,
many of
though,
us actually look at the ratings like 5 stars or percentage out of 100,
Mhm.
and we look at it and like, and then we might read 1 or 2, maybe 3 comments like, "Oh, this movie sucked," or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the reason is, but we don't actually get any context because it's just like somebody saw it and they bitch about what they didn't like. They don't put it into perspective.
Mm-mm.
That was
Were
cool.
we supposed to be? Weren't we supposed to stop streaming?
Say again, sir.
Didn't you say we were off air?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, we're still streaming as
Oh.
far as I can tell.
Thank God, because I thought if I had to
I
like put on
Must have
pants
missed it.
for the stream,
We're getting ready to get off
Okay.
the stream, guys. It's been almost 3 hours. You all be
Kronos keeps changing his score.
Kronos.
He's got an 8.4 and 9.5. I guess he's
God bless
rating
you, Kronos.
different people that were on the
You might be
show.
drinking. You all be safe. We'll see you next week for Hundreds of Beavers.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. It was fun.